लाल
क्या क्या वो बटन नहीं दबाना था
लाल बटन दिख रहा है
Blixer, Fun and Monsoon! They are Sentinels!
किन्हें लास्ट शॉट में ले लो हाँ बाइसर का ऊपर
Sinap, Justna and Hobley, they are under
भाई मैं निकल रहा हूँ ओके आप कर लो समझ रहे हो ना हाँ अगर कुछ हो तो मेरे को कॉल कर देना डायरेक्ट कॉल पे
Albra Lily, Skittle Cakes and Sacred!
डिस्कॉर्ड हाँ डिस्कॉर्ड
Nemesis! Zach, Lauder and Carter, they are Team Vision! Euris, Arufa and Axis, they are Reject! Ulariman, Xuvie and Peace, they are Unlimited! Mike, Satuki and Yuka F, they are Zeta Division! Aku, Akis and then Lucky, they are Alliance! Deeds, Jelly and Duplex, they are Zeddy Esports! Aguares, Nizul and Yania AGAL! No Name, Wentz and Crazy Kong, Walls Esports! Pricey, Easy Flash and Strafing Flame, they are RRQ! Zero, Sykes and Panic, they are Team Liquid! Light, Kinda and Henchman, they are Elite Esports! Kieltz, Wolsey and Imperial Hall, your reigning club champions, Team Falcon! Nous y sommes, les meilleurs joueurs du monde sont ici à Paris. Qui marquera l'histoire? Qui repartira avec les 2 millions de dollars? Qui remportera le WC?
We've got $2 million on the line and a legacy that will forever be forged into the ALGS history books at the Esports World Cup. So it is time to put up or shut up. It is time for the match point finals.
Make some noise!
Months of preparation, thousands of hours played, and every sacrifice made to get to this point.
The goal is always to win.
That's what we're here for, right?
The game so far has been incredibly rough. It's hard. I guess we can just call it warm-up. Hopefully, the warm-up is done.
Hello guys.
clueless people should not do tier lists and put us on lower tiers because we've shown what we can do.
The difference between having a good game from a great game is just those small seconds.
Obviously, there's a rivalry between us and Liquid, so it's always nice to beat them. But it's just a little ego boost, pretty much. It's nothing deeper than that.
There's definitely like big names not doing as great as expected.
I just want to apologize to everyone that have watched us. The group stage performance was not great. I'm going to definitely promise that we're going to be showing up on finals way better.
I haven't missed a final since Poland, so which is almost 6 years ago, so I'm not too worried.
そうですね、まず決勝に上がってきた全チームが全力を出した上で僕たちが1位になれるように頑張ります。
We're super proud and we're looking forward to finals. Try our best and whatever happens, happens.
We got through the hard part, so now this is the easy part.
After 4 days of competition, we find ourselves finally on the final day of the ALGS Split 1 playoffs at the Esports World Cup 2026. And if you're here in the arena, if you're at home watching, you're about to be a part of one of the greatest spectacles in all of esports. It's Match Point Finals.
Everyone's going to be talking about it, and the big question is, how many matches will we go today? Could it be 7, 8? Could we go all the way to 13 or 14 like we saw last year, the Esports World Cup 2025? It always provides entertainment here, and we are globally represented in these Match Point Finals as well. 9 from Americas, 4 from EMEA, 4 from APAC North, and 3 from APAC South. Every region is represented.
Absolutely love the fact that we have so much representation, showing that the Apex Legends Global Series truly is global. Now, 40 teams, of course, descended here on Paris, and we are left with 20. We have had heartbreak, we have had huge moments, we have had clutches, and of course, we have had that disappointment yesterday of having to send some teams home. But today is all about glory. It's all about becoming a champion. And when you look across this lobby, you look across the teams that are here, there are so many stories that are desperate for a conclusion.
We have the reigning world champions of Sentinels on the stage. You have the history of the club champions in Team Falcons on the stage. You have the up-and-comers, Team Liquid, who look like they could be champions on the stage. All of these stories converging together to create what is going to be an incredible Match Point Finals. But it could be a long old road to victory here. It is not as simple as doing it in just a few games. We could go the distance.
Now, just to remind everyone, or if you don't know at all how this is going to work, a little bit of a change of format for our finals. Match Point Finals has its own special flavor. You've got to hit 50 points, get that on the board, and then you will become Match Point eligible. After you win a game, having become Match Point eligible, you will become champion.
And as I said earlier, we went all the way to 13 games last year. Are we going to find a similar distance, or could we even go further? I'm kind of having my fingers crossed that we will, because the more Apex we see, the better. Now, there are so many fans in the audience here, fans of every single team, and that's what's amazing. Every team on the walkout had someone cheering for them.
It's an amazing, amazing place to be. And if you are here, get behind the boys, because these teams have been fighting it out for 4 days to make it to this stage, to have a chance at lifting that trophy when we are all said and done at the end of today. Honestly, we've got goosebumps here in the caster booth, everyone in the green room, everyone backstage. I'm sure everybody who's sat in the seats watching right now is feeling the same, because we're heading over to Storm Point to kick this thing off. Paris Match Point Finals is live.
As we check in with the winners from the group stage, the #1 seed here, Elite Esports. Can they carry on their same trajectory from where they started and continue things into the finals here? Because Elite, we've seen this before on set, an EMEA team dominating throughout group stages, but then they fall flat when they get to the finals in the big moments.
It's a story as old as time. The one team to upset that apple cart, a team who's won the Esports World Cup before. Take yourself back a couple of years. Alliance in our match point finals have got it done at the Esports World Cup. What an opportunity that would be to call yourself a two-time champion.
Two times champion that no one else has yet to be able to call themselves at the Esports World Cup. And now we've had some interesting zones when it does come to the ALGS so far this tournament. And starting here on Storm Point, are we going to see some similar ones? That's going to be the real question. It looks like we're going to be heading up north when it comes to where we're going to be finishing with this final circle. And the wall has been one of the best POIs that we have seen so far in terms of statistics when it does come to the ALGS so far.
Interesting. I was keeping my eyes on Alliance and AG Global. We saw that tweet before the action got underway today saying that Alliance were going to be aggressive on AG Global, but probably not going to have the opportunity here because the prio to this zone is going to be the most important. There is that zone. Wolves Esports are moving up to the top of the zipline building. And the fact that all of Wall isn't quite in there, this might be an interesting one. Will Wolves try and move into Wall? Unlimited, the team dropping over there. They had her in console and they're playing right at the back building.
We may still see a fight between AG Global and Alliance as they are flying in. There's the first knock.
And it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a trade. Unlucky is down, but Unlucky is brought back to his feet. Can the same be said for Yanya, though? Two players from AG Global, you saw them escaping. And maybe we are going to see this scuffle continue every single time that we hit the northern side of Storm Point.
Well, AG Global will back away from Alliance in the end. After that knock, it's not worth taking the fight. And Alliance win game one already. In terms of engagements, they also get priority to zone. They can hold them out. And what a day it could be for Alliance. As for AG Global now, they've already had their first test and will they rue the day that they picked Northpad. That's going to be the question from my end. I was wondering, why did Alliance take that fight? Why did they pick it? But it makes sense. All of their rotations, all of their macro is used to playing from this POI. It's AG Global who perhaps have stepped into enemy territory.
Well, I get the feeling that that story's not going to end in this game. We've just seen the res coming in, and AG Global will be back to full strength with Yanya rejoining the troops. RRCube playing the bottom of the zipline building. They're going to have a little bit of a rotate a little bit later on, but with so many teams ahead of them, I don't mind them playing this area and looking to hold a few teams out. Another team that's close to them is going to be Forefront Esports. And they've got some barrels down, expecting a push to come in.
And both these teams qualifying through the survival stage as well. Two teams who were very close to just making it through match point finals naturally, but they had to fight tooth and nail yesterday. And boy, did they both look good. Trust me, they are going to make this a difficult lobby for those who did progress previously, and they have that extra experience under their belts from those extra 10 matches that we had yesterday.
Well, Unlimit are the ones who are blessed by zone first. Dropping over at Wall, come straight to them. They have the pick of where they wanted to play. Now, Crypto Seer and Alta is going to be the composition that they've chosen for this game number one. Usually one which kind of works into Unlimited's game plan, which is to be a little bit more aggressive, to take a few more team fights, but having Prio in this zone, they're not going to have the best defensive legends outside of the Crypto EMP to stop those pushes coming in.
Now Nemesis, for me, quiet underdogs in this tournament. They've been going about their business, but you look at the composition, you look at how this team is built, the experience and the history of Albralelli against the sheer gun power of Skittlecakes and Sacred. Definitely potential winners for me if they find form, but it is an if.
So AG Global, we saw them lose Yanya a little bit earlier, but they've got that reset now. But having to reset early on usually just slows down the rotate. We do see Team Nemesis, who was the team kind of poking from the green and white buildings outside of Northpad. It looks like the call is to try and maybe get up to purple here. A couple of Evo Harvesters being pinged as we take our attention now over to Cascade Falls. EK Esports and S8UL a little bit too close for comfort.
Now for GK and for Dropped in particular, it's been a history of always the bridesmaid, never the bride. A lot of second places. Can this be the team that finds him a first place finally at LAN? Even though it's a long old road, as we check back in with what's happening up towards Wall, and this is Alliance trying to make a push in.
This is a really big fight. Someone's trying to force this. Hack is down, Alliance are out! A combination of Wolves and a third party from Gaming Gladiators means that Alliance will be the first team to fall in match 1 of our match point finals.
And when you talk about teams that are built for winning, Gaming Gladiators, they have a little bit of everything as well. Could they be EMEA's hopes for taking another trophy here on ALGS land? And for Wolves, what a day it was for them yesterday. And you remember the incredible second place finish we saw with the Kraber and the carry from No Name. Only losing in the end to a lamppost, but they've been able to get here to the match point finals. And at the moment, they are taking a little bit of a peep over towards GG, but I think both of these teams now, after eliminating Alliance, they can be comfortable in sitting in their buildings.
Throughout the years, I've lost many a fight to a lamppost, I will say, when I'm not paying attention. So I'm with you, No Name. But that was, I tweeted about it yesterday, it would have been one of this what felt like the biggest single-handed carry from a player to get Wolves into that position and pop up for a win that we would have seen in the history of the Apex Legends Global Series. Wasn't to be, but still extremely memorable. As we take a look at where that zone is going, we are pulling hard in towards the wall, and that's a good zone read from Unlimit to play that backside of it, have their backs clear, and let the lobby flood in front of them.
One team I'd like to mention here is Team Vision on that northeastern side. Not only are they going to be in a good position to transition at the end of this game, but they can hold out the likes of E36 and Zeddy. You can pick up KP and you can move into one of the priority positions depending on where that zone moves. If it does continue to shift a little bit further north, we often get very hard-fought fights up towards there. As our #1 seed coming into this, Elite Esports now just going to have a little look as we check back in with the replay of how Alliance went down.
You can see just getting pinched essentially by 2 teams who wanted to force that building. Speaking of forcing, Yanya says go. Henchman is down, Light and Kinda have to retreat here. And Yanya's on the hunt.
Yeah, they're not going to let them escape easily here. Jerome goes in.
Kinda goes down. Jaguarez with the RE45 from distance will finish that off, and now Light, he's being chased here by the Axel. Light turns around. Yanya says, boys, you can get yourself a KP. And that's going to be the end of Elite Esports, the #1 seed coming into today. But Nemesis are now looking at this. Sacred sensing the opportunity to get some KP.
Expect to see a lot of these teams fighting when we're on Storm Point because of the congestion of just big, aggressive, fight-heavy teams on this northwest side. Nemesis are trying to hunt down AG, but now AG happy to try and retreat. Nemesis just one step too late here, and the Axel has very much helped out AG. When you talk about legend changes, you talk about compositions, running the right kind of legend, well, Axel is everything that AG wants.
So Nemesis will retreat for now. The good news for Sacred on the altar is he's managed to swap out that Rampage for a Hemlock.
Not a bad trade.
Always a good thing. But now they've got a little more attention to pay to AG, because AG are back, because they don't really have much of a choice on where they're going to rotate. Arbolelli with the fuse ult. EMP's going to be destroyed as well. And now firing these knuckle clusters forward. Even though they've got the high ground here, Nemesis, they don't have the armor advantage. So this is a pretty equal looking fight.
This is where you need an individual to hit a big shot.
The zone's going to be a problem here.
Oh, they're going to try and wrap round again. I mean, they went this way before and it didn't really work for them. This is such a long route, by the way. They need a lot of meds, and I'm looking at it, 6 syringes, a med kit. Elsewhere, Zeta Division, they've lost a couple of players here by the looks of it. E36 are pushing up onto them.
Right at the top of command center. Obley's down. Satuki underneath, just playing in and around the knockdown. Oh, CNAP. Oh! Got the armor swap, but it's not a great one. Oh, in the first, Force 36 will go down. And it's going to be Zeta Division who will win their first fight. You did see a scan coming in, though, from Height. Zeddy Esports are very, very close, but over to Team Liquid now, the other side of command center, down on the low ground at the entrance. They're trying to force their way in towards GK Esports, and there's a Mythic bin spawning pretty close as well.
Zeta had no right winning that fight, by the way, but you mentioned it. Zeddy Esports perhaps helping them out a little bit, as GK now holding out Team Liquid. This isn't going to be a comfortable rotation for them. Trouble is, if Team Liquid opt to go the other way, they're just going to go into Falcons, and actually, Falcons are hearing all this commotion. They also see the Mythic bin, and Falcons are starting to approach. So we're going to have 3 teams all around this Mythic bin now.
GK get EMP'd, or should I say that, excuse me, is their EMP trying to slow down the push coming in from behind. Where that zone is going, though, we'll pay attention to that in a few seconds' time, because that is going to upset the lobby. Wow, to say the least. That is where we are going. I mentioned how it didn't feel quite right for a hard pull into wall. Well, it has bounced back to the hill house, the top of the zip line, where that building is, and who is holding pretty at the top of it? It's Ninjas in pajamas.
Sentinels also in the area as well. We know what an incredible zone-heavy team Sentinels can be, the reigning world champions. There's Team Liquid, backed away initially from GK, but perhaps they're going to re-engage now they've not seen a third team. Falcons, they didn't see any knocks in the kill feed, so they back away as those CQs now start to give a little bit of information, and of course, disable those abilities and a little bit of a stun as well.
I was going to say, the difficulty here for GK is if they get hit by that CQ, then Caustic becomes essentially useless. Cannot get those barrels out. Cannot use that Caustic ult. As we see Sentinels eliminated, the world champions will fall early in match number 1, and they had a great position as well. It's Ninjas in pajamas who took care of their nearest threat, and with Team Liquid now portaling through, and a Skynade coming in from Jetsko. This could be the end of TL's game.
Last player has to try and get away. It's going to be Panic as the last one alive. And actually, Panic gets a knock, but not going to matter. Liquid go down to S8UL. That's what can happen sometimes when you blindly go in as S8UL. Now they're going to be under pressure.
And the team that's pushing them at the moment is Team Falcons. Walking their way up outside of Command Center from the Spider Cave. S8UL looking to see if they could drag Jesco back as well, and manage to do so.
Come hither.
So they will be healthy, as Falcons now going to start to hold out GK. Great shots coming in from Hal.
Oh, this is going to get ugly, because Zeta Division also here at Command Center. It's going to be difficult to try and escape this fully healthy once you start to see, as here is Zeta Division. They've already held a 1 versus 2. And now Ewc with the longbow will eliminate S8UL down to 14 teams.
And they're healthy. They have to keep moving forward though. 23 seconds on the zone. But Ewc, off of a body, has swapped out a longbow for a Kraber. Inches away, but inches makes all the difference. Uh-oh, Falcons. You're getting slid on. You're getting picked on. But now it's up to Guild. He can't win it. Falcons eliminated. And Zeta Division continue this reign of terror.
AG Global eliminated as well in the kill feed. Nemesis now approaching onto Zeta Division here. But Zeta seem to be an unstoppable force as GK Esports will get taken out of the lobby. Now this is the center of the zone. This is a huge fight to win. NIP have lost 1.
Cole is down. A lot of damage, of course, done by Vayne with that car, but not enough to get the knock and even up the numbers. However, the portal from Kurev, huge, vital to get Cole back into a position where he can get res, but here comes Cinetic. Here comes for fun, and Kurev has to jump into the void.
And Vayne's not particularly healthy as well, but of course can go into that drone. Grab that death box potentially as well. There is still hope here for NIP.
Overflow on Kurev as well, but For Fun have bullied them out of the building. Nemesis now taking a lot of damage. You can see that up on the high ground. Surprise, surprise, who's taking them out? It's going to be Zeta Division again. Team Nemesis will be eliminated. Half the lobby is gone.
The cockroaches of the lobby in the moment are Zeta Division. No one seems to be able to take them down. Surely this is going to be their final fight. But now, even Reject are under fire as they started to approach. Satuki has gone down. And finally, after a valiant effort, Zeta Division will fall. But alongside from KP is now RRQ approaching Reject.
Easy Flash pops back through the portal, just trying to look to see if they can pick up some KP. They will have to move in a little bit, and I think they're going to get healthy before walking up to where that portal was. The damage was enough for them to try and take this spot away from Reject. Yuri still down, and Axe is barely with any HP himself. See the breach charges coming in. And RRQ are going to give an ult excel over to Pricey on the Wraith to try and hit another portal.
4 of these teams are nowhere near zone. And they're going to quickly find out how difficult it is to try and approach uphill. Sadly for Reject as a 2, there's too many eyes on at the moment. Wraith Portal is going to be the only attempt here.
Ooh. The phase dome will keep him alive, but it allows RRQ just to creep up and take this tree spot away. RC still somehow alive, by the way. I don't know how. I'll limit now from that southern, the northernmost tip of the wall. Have to force their way forward. Remember, they dropped over here. They thought the zone call was going to be a hard wall zone, but the pull away has really scuppered their game.
Oh, and the course plastic barrels in the end do enough as Unlimit and Reject will be wiped away from this server. As Team Vision, I mentioned this position a little bit earlier from the northeast. They bided their time, they didn't overcommit, and now they've been able to slowly but surely work their way further south. And now they actually hold out the likes of Wolves and GG.
One of the best conversion rates that you could possibly ask for when you look at top 5s to wins is Team Vision. That'll be very important if they hit match point today. But they've got to get there first. A lot of work to be done. Gaming Gladiators will be eliminated as Wolves find themselves down to 2. And RRQ are making the call now to try and wrap this damage that's been done to numerous teams. Look for these KP. And then work their way towards zone. No name, he's down, Pricey with great shots. Easy Flash goes down though into 1v1, Strafing Flame versus Crazy Kong inside the building behind the knockdowns. Swing comes in, Crazy Kong, he gets taken down, Strafing Flame with the biggest shots of the final so far.
And that takes us down to our last 5 teams, which is significant, because statistically that's where the last final circle will be around. 5 squads competing for a win. As Zeddy, they've lost Jelly at the moment, but perhaps they'll have a chance to get him back up as they're trying to compete for this same building that NIP have been holding for what feels like the entire
NIP
game.
have just got a res! You just saw it there! Somehow Ninjas in Pajamas have got a res and will have Cole back into this game. Meanwhile, inside that building, For Fun and Zeddy having a little engagement. Deathbox Reds comes in, but look at the damage that they're taking. They're under so much pressure. The heat from those flames is singeing away at Zeddy, but they somehow managed to reset here.
And you mentioned those conversion rates. NIP with a 33% conversion rate from top 5 to a win. For Vision, it was 50% in Pro League. It's not been as good here in this tournament, but maybe they can find that form.
Zach says to Lota and Carter, go get us some kills, go take out the threats that surround us. RRQ have been eliminated as Ninjas in Pajamas are safe in zone.
Oh, those nades, they hurt though, they burn. And it's really down to whether you can actually heal up here.
Kurev gets out. Safe was the wrong word from me. They certainly weren't. The nades just rained down from numerous teams. They've managed to reset once against the odds. Ninjas in Pajamas in this game. Can they do it again? Top 4, Team Vision. Ninjas in Pajamas, Zeddy Esports, and For Fun Esports, your final 4 teams.
And I like that you touch upon final circles for Vision, and it's down to Zach Mazer, their IGL. They found the last remaining player. Kurev can go into the void once more, but it feels like it's just delaying the inevitable. Maybe you can find a little hidey hole to play here, because perhaps Zeddy and For Fun are focusing elsewhere.
He might be able to get a placement point if he's careful here. He also might be able to get a Deathbox res. Had overflow, which means you'll get healthy nice and quick. As Team Vision hold the most space, it's For Fun and Zeddy that are stacked up on top of each other. Maybe not. Ninjas in Pajamas will be eliminated. Kurev cannot get the extra placement.
That was like a Sillet Bang advert. Bang it, the dirt is gone, but it was NIP who finally get taken away from their building. Other cleaning products are available as Team Vision now will hold the main area here as For Fun and Zeddy are both going to be in this same building. Advantage Vision, 100%.
With the exhibit going down, certainly is, because that means For Fun and Zeddy are engaging. One alive on Zeddy. It's going to be Jelly. It's a 1v1 in the building. Cinetic versus Jelly. Jelly wins it, but Team Vision convert once again.
And as we were talking about throughout Split 1 Pro League, they had a 50% conversion rate from top 5s. And even though it hasn't been up there here at Split 1 playoffs at EWC 2026, now those percentages start to go up, which is the perfect time to increase them in match point finals. Zach Mazer, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the best IGLs in the world. Can he get a LAN trophy for Team Vision?
Well, Zach with some choice words there, some confident words. He says it's over in 6. Well, with that kind of start, why wouldn't you have that kind of confidence? Fantastic endgame management again from Team Vision. The job was made easy for them with the fight taking place inside of that building, but the zone pull, I think, caught a lot of people off guard. Something didn't seem right at the start when I saw that second zone. And the fact that it bounces back to that zipline building A lot of those teams who had Prio inside of Wall really struggled to leave.
I have a wry smile because I called the position from Vision right at the start when they held the Northeast. And the reason they played that, I like to think, is because they could split the difference. They could transition to either zone if it pulled north or south. And the big fight was winning it against Ninja Pajamas. Those nades were huge, and they were able to sniff them out, take them down, and then look how simple it was from here. They saw the fighting take place. Easy as that. Did they get buffed from the patch notes?
I didn't read that. I didn't read that in the patch notes, but it might have been at the bottom because it certainly is coming true here. We'll have to see if they can continue, though. We know that a good start is one thing, but we usually go a long way when it comes to match point. But getting that win early on, boy, did it do something for the confidence. They will be feeling on top of the world right now.
I will say it's not exactly a mammoth victory in terms of points. It was quite shared out, quite even between lobby leaders. Vision did put up 19 points in the end, and we'll go through the rest a little bit later.
Careful, Nessie.
Nessie again just dangerously, tantalizingly close towards the crusher there, as those are the keys that will be crushed alongside the hopes and dreams of all these players on stage today. Only one will remain.
With match 1 done and Team Vision taking home the champion banner in that first game, match 2 is just around the corner. We're going to go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
Look, I don't know if you've heard this, Pricey, but I was on broadcast yesterday and I looked deep in the camera and I said, I don't know if they're going to make it into the finals. And I have been saying it's a reverse caster curse, okay? Because you guys did so well yesterday for APAC South. Now, going into today's competition, do you feel like yesterday's performance is going to bleed into today and that you can maintain what you guys have already done?
We've been going into, because our last 2 group stages were bad. So yesterday and after every game, it was like a mental reset every game. So right now we're still on that even level. We're not going into overconfident, underconfident. So we're just gonna play our game and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching you guys from the side of the stage where you're kind of cheering, even though you don't get the win in that match, but you know that you're getting those sorts of points. How has it been sort of having Easy Flash come back in, because Strafing and Easy Flash have been such a dynamic duo? How do you feel that you sort of slide into that dynamic?
Pretty easily. Everyone does their part. When everyone's all happy and cheery, everyone does their part super well. So that's what we're going for today again.
Well, Pricey, I will never doubt you again. I'm so sorry Partner yelled at me the other day. But guys, best of luck to you today. Do it for APAC South.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Welcome back once again, everybody, to the ALGS Split 1 playoffs at Esports World Cup 2026. Match 1 is in the history books, and it's Team Vision who take the win. We also hear from RQ's Pricey, big Pricey guy, I have to say, personally. I think he's one of the most experienced and celebrated players in APAC South, and we love to hear from him. And I love his music choices as well, Dan. He's got some good music choices, I will say.
I'm sure he's a fan of the cosplay that we have in the audience as well. Some excellent representations of skins. As we look back at some of the highlights, and match 1 is done, and how many more are we going to have here in match point finals? I do want to correct myself from earlier. I said last year we had 13 games. It was actually Esports World Cup 2024 we had 13 games. It was 9 last year, so apologies for that one. But it was a brilliant first match, because like I said, the points were shared quite evenly across the top 4 teams. There was no one who really took the plaudits, apart from the obvious win from Vision and just a little bit of a lead from the extra points they were able to get for first place.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
That's okay. No problem.
It was only an apology to you, just to be clear.
I did not correct you. Team Vision with a very, very simple end game there, but I think the most impressive thing there for me was how they cleaned out RRQ to clear that side of zone. Very important. You saw the portal down using the Nexus, using the Q from Ulta to get down to that low ground and deal with the damage onto RRQ, knowing that they had the ability to portal up onto them should they be forced to later on when that zone closed. So just being aware of situations nearest threats to you is what Zach is so good at. Now, Crypto, of course, a huge contributing factor to that, being able to be on Crypto, being able to use that drone and see what teams are surrounding you and see what teams are also fighting. But now we move into match number 2. This is where the IGL stakes, I think, start to get lifted a little bit here. The value of a good IGL when Crypto is gone really does get on display.
And now, differently to yesterday's competition and of course the group stages as well, in match point finals we snake draft the maps. We will not see 3 in a row and then moving into the next one. Instead, we start on Storm Point, we now move into World's Edge, and we transition all the way through to E District, and then we go back again. So we will have E District back to back at 4 and 5, and then later on we will not see Storm Point once more until match 8. So for Team Vision, for example, if Storm Point is their map, if that's where they're going to find wins, perhaps when we get to match 8 they would be match point eligible and might have the chance to win.
Well, just to give you an idea of the standings and the points that actually came away from match number 1, Team Vision with 19 points. The 7 KP that they got alongside the 12 for first place puts them, no surprise, top of the pile. ZE Esports with 14 alongside RRQ. Zeta Division actually ended up in 4th place. We saw a few team fights that they won. 11 KP took them to 13, For Fun with 10, and then Ninjas in Pajamas with 8. We'll update you on the standings as we go through these games, of course, but it's all Team Vision.
It is all Team Vision. A 5-point lead, and 5 points extra, you will take them. But it's still quite a way off being match point eligible, remember. Sometimes we've had game 1s where people put 27 points on the board and we're like, oh, wait, they're over halfway there at this point. Well, Zach Mazer thinks in 6, so we'll check back in with that once we get into match 6 and see where they reside and whether they're even match point eligible. Because how many times in ALGS history do we see a team win and then in the next one die first? So
very often.
We'll be keeping an eye on Team Vision here.
We'll see what happens. If they can get into the top 5, however, I'm expecting them to become champions again because they have a little bit of a knack of doing so. I will give a huge amount of credit, though, to Ninjas in Pajamas. Such a stressful day for them yesterday to stay alive in the tournament. They had to make top 6, and they did it. Now coming into the first game of today, a good performance, a solid performance. And after you've been through so many trials and tribulations over the first 4 days of action, I think it will just settle them down a little bit in this lobby.
I do like that you bring up Ninjas in Pajamas going into World's Edge as well. That's where they've had the majority of their points. In fact, the most points we've seen in this tournament has come from Ninjas in Pajamas. They have had more games than others. To put it in a little bit of an equation for you, Liquid have only got 4 points less than NIP on World's Edge. And of course, they played 3 less times on that map.
So World's Edge looking good for Liquid. Let's see if they can convert based upon the stats that you just gave to me and the beautiful people who are watching around the globe. Well, that's the end of Storm Point for a little bit. We're heading over to World's Edge now. A little bit of a change of scenery, but the action will be just as fast-paced. Match number 2 is live. Your match point finals continues.
And just in terms of POI draft, the big winners for me, Team Falcons at Lava Fisher, that's been the best performing POI so far this tournament. E36 over towards Overlook, and Vision at Launch Site, the 3rd best performing POI. So our winners from match 1 also have the stats on their side as well, because not only do they have Launch Site, they've been able to transition over towards Dome and double up in their loot phase.
Yeah, really interesting. They're actually splitting where they are landing at the moment. It's only Zach Mazer on your screen right now, who is doing a little bit of looting over at Dome. So everybody else is going to be, you think about the amount of information they're going to be able to leave with. It's quite something. They're going to have good Evo opportunities. They're going to have a lot of loot. And with the zone being pretty close to them as well, it's looking good for Team Vision. If you're wondering about the zone, let's give you that information. We are going out towards Harvester by the looks of things. AG Global, good news for them. Alliance, very good news for them over at Tree. They have a ring console, and RRQ arriving already to try and take that western side of Harvester.
Yeah, Liquid are going to be moving quickly from Lava. Siphon as well. Ninjas in Pajamas are going to be shadowing them. And actually, NIP watched Liquid hit the ring console, survey beacon, etc. Now they're going to take that and get the same info that Liquid have. So NIP will be a little bit further behind.
Yeah, interesting as well. Sometimes it's best to let the team ahead of you hit the information, and then you can base your next decision off of it. Of course, probably a little bit early for that to be the most value that you can get out of it. Usually if you're playing Edge a little bit later on, that's a good thing to do, especially when you're still looking to grab those Evo points. Of course, the survey beacon and the ring console are going to allow you to do that. So Ninjas in Pajamas, they're hitting an evac right now as we look over to Alliance, who went out first in our previous game. A tough moment for them, but they have fantastic prio onto this zone. And with Watson in the composition, Hackett on Wraith, and Unlucky on the Seer, they're set up for the long game here.
And I do think Alliance have to make these maps that aren't Stormpoint count, because Stormpoint is going to get ugly with the contest. That being said, Alliance have been able to find themselves in a pretty solid position to start with, as have many teams moving to the center of World's Edge here. And it is really about where you can find somewhere to call home and set up. The compositions have changed quite significantly with the crypto ban from match 1 as well. We're going to have a lot more Seer in the lobby.
19 Seers in the lobby. That's a lot of Seer.
Too much.
Interesting to see some of the racing essentially that's going on as well. You saw RC trying to get into that snake. That's already taken. A lot of these teams would have had a prio position that they want to play on certain POIs should the zone pull there. But if you're just half a second late, half a beat late on your loop path, the time that you leave your POI, you'll find that spot is taken. Zaya Division, they fought their way towards zone in the last game. And this time they're fighting inside of it.
Yeah, they fought excellently in the previous, and trying to both teams hold this snake. Oh. One of you has to go down here. You cannot both reside. You're going to constantly be poking at one another. And Sentinels, they do bite back a little bit, but now both teams say, I don't feel confident in pushing. So they will currently cohabit. But it's like a noisy neighbor. You just hope they move out soon.
Fun being able to pop that ult excel to get a gem back is very important. That gives an anchor position for Sentinels to fire from, knowing those shields will be recharged as they stay within the distance of that interception pylon. Up on the high ground, you saw RC trying to take that snake position earlier. They were beaten by Sentinels. Now they're playing up on that high ground, overlooking the snake at Harvester. Wolves on your screen right now. They're a little bit further away from the action, as are Team Falcons, who look like they're kind of counter-rotating here towards Mirage for either a ring console or to hit the survey beacon.
And I was mentioning Falcons, I was mentioning Lava Fissure being the best performing POI statistically with its average points. I do think that Falcons chose POIs in the POI draft that have been performing well.
Interesting to see, you know, when you were looking at the stats, you kind of jumped out your seat. You're like, wait, there's a pattern emerging here.
Yeah, it seemed appropriate that Falcons would choose the best performing POIs, but I do think it's a risk. It's going off of the law of averages. It's going off where those rings have been pulling as well, because usually the points averages are kind of exceeded because of where the zones have been going. But it is a game plan, and, well, if it works, we're going to call them geniuses. Or one person in particular. Privacy will be called a genius.
Poor Draugr.
We already know Draugur's they're all geniuses.
Good save. Elite Esports inside a countdown right now. What a day it was for them. Well, what a 4 days, I should say, it has been for them so far. But no points on the board yet. And we mentioned how EMEA has an unfortunate kind of pattern and history when it comes to getting to the finals, looking fantastic through groups, and then just kind of falling flat when the pressure gets a little bit too much for them. One team who isn't feeling the pressure and won't be in this game number 2 is our winners of game 1. 19 points already on the board for them. And we usually say, if you're watching for the first time, you're wondering how kind of an average of points per game works for a very good game. 10 points per game, you're usually saying we're in a position to win a tournament.
Very happy with 10 per game. Yeah, you would be match point eligible by match 5. Now, we have had teams reach match point eligibility from match 3. Historically, match 4, we've seen it quite often as well. But with how tight these lobbies have been, I am curious to see when we get there.
Well, let's see what Team Vision's plan is. We've got a listening queued up. Let's jump in and listen to the boys.
Got a long boat across the map. Oh, we're gonna have to trade, because I have no hop up.
Hey, make sure you guys have a fuck ton of nades ready.
Yeah, I do.
Because, like, on this fight, I'm gonna path the low ground.
Probably.
I'm gonna path the low ground and sky nade and tack into them, okay?
Yeah, just remember they have gen.
Alright,
how many ult excels do you have?
I'm gonna hit beacon, okay? I have 2 ult excels on me with a gen up. I'm hitting beacon.
A longbow on one guy.
I need to give you power boost still.
Oh my god. Did we just go over here? Where does this pole to? I feel like it's this zone.
Yeah, I think it is too. Yeah, I think it's
this
building
zone.
was open, no? The building was open. Yeah, the building's open.
Yeah, but the thing is if it's not that zone and it pulls here, then we have to fight up that up. I'm gonna get. I'm probably
good.
They're just running.
He's on the rock.
Huh?
He's far.
I'm gonna bat.
Really good shot.
We're rock. I see him. You're good. I cracked him.
I'm a little bit confused what zone this could be. So what I want to do here is I want to go for yellow, but what if we go for here instead? So that we can play for both. Because if we get stuck in this, we have to go there anyway. All right, let's just go here for now, and then let's war room, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Because if we're reading the zone wrong and it goes over here.
Always great to see the insight from the IGLs about where they think it could be going. Vision a little bit confused about that ring pull. For now, they're going to head towards train station where Nemesis currently reside, and they sort of say, maybe we can just sit here. We have seen it pull this way before, but we're not entirely sure.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, that my eyebrows are raised, Zach's eyebrows are raised. You heard it from himself, you know, the man himself. He said, I'm not quite sure where this zone is going. If I'm gonna hedge my bets, I think it's going to pull over to the Harvester side, possibly on the hill side, but it's a strange one for sure. And I think a lot of the teams that have prior at Harvester are going to be looking at this and going, well, do we risk leaving early here, trying to take a little bit of the space that's available on the other side of zone? Team Vision are kind of gambled now on this side. If it does pull to the other, they'll have to fight through the choke, and then they have the hillside to work with. So I actually kind of like the position of Team Vision. If they don't get the pull this side and they can work their way through the choke, then they'll be looking down on everyone else.
It's them hedging their bets again, or not hedging their bets, excuse me, and being able to give themselves a secondary option just like they did in match 1. Now, Unlimit, under some pressure, under some fire, and currently within an exhibit, so they'll have to make sure they get away.
Creative routing coming in from Peace there to get out of the exhibit. And for fun, do force them away. Teams that are outside of zone right now is interesting. You've got Unlimit, who we just saw and can see on your screen trying to force their way in and will be safe. Team Falcons over at staging at the moment. They're not inside of the next zone. And I wonder if they're actually waiting to hit the ring console, which it looks like they're going to do. I think that's a very, very smart thing to do. If you're on edge right now and you can get the info on where this zone is going to be going, I think you're in a great spot.
And if they do get that info, they can rotate south if it pulls that way and be in one of the priority positions, that's for sure. Nemesis also in a great spot, but Unlimit and Fun still sizing each other up at the moment. No one overcommitting to this fight, waiting for utility to be used, perhaps. But they are hurting themselves the longer this fight goes on, because there is a possibility of a third party. E36 are having a little look at it. And the longer a fight does go on, the more reluctant you are to actually take it because of that third-party possibility. And it really has been interesting, Mark, to see the pace of this game compared to Storm Point. Still 20 squads remaining. No real engagements thus far.
Peace wants this. Tyler Scarper, and Tyler's down. Stu with some great shots. Peace with a distraction, essentially. They're queuing down on Alta. Avoid passage to get involved. Oh, but more take the attention away. We know how dangerous Unlimit can be in these lobbies, in these team fights. When they're working their way in from edge, they really are the boogeyman for so many teams in the lobby. The zone has pulled to the north now. And RRQ are bang center.
Yeah, we were worried that as For Fun get eliminated, by the way, we were worried that some of these Harvester teams would have to transition quite far away, but it has continued to pull that way. So for Team Vision earlier, as they were thinking it might pull further south, are going to have to work their way north now. As are Falcons, who would have hit that ring console from staging, they're going to have to transition east. And there's a lot of teams to get through as well. And remember, we don't have any Valkyries in the lobby right now. There's no one who's going to be able to send themselves up without an evac tower.
And now the positioning of Team Vision becomes a lot more difficult. Zone pulling all the way to the north. They are the furthest team from the zone that are still inside of it. We've got Zeddy Esports and S8UL who are currently moving their way through the lava siphon tunnel quite far off. But Vision have at least managed to move up alongside Nemesis here. And that makes the fight a little bit more comfortable for them, but they're getting shot in the back, and Sacred is taking an off angle here. Albrelli's gone down though. Lotus having a peek, Sacred trying to save the day here, but all three members of Team Vision are still up, and Carter's going to swing. Sacred has to queue back to try and keep himself alive. It looks like advantage Vision here as Skittle Cakes is going to be taken down.
Trouble is, you've got Reject now coming from the other side. Falcons are coming through the tunnel as well. Vision are screwed whichever way they go here, and they don't really realize it, but here comes Team Falcons. Oh no, Falcons portal back. It does give Vision a chance. Nemesis will be eliminated. Reject starting to back away. And somehow Vision are holding on to this one. Falcons have been able to just give them that opportunity.
Over to the zone, Zane and Vision are out. They bullied their way through teams a little bit earlier, but not E36 inside of zone this time around. Synapse going to be able to be brought back to his feet by the looks of things, although there may be a cheeky Yanya and Jaguares looking to move in to see if they can clean that up. Over to the southern side of zone where we've got a little bit of a build-up as well. Synapse will eventually be brought back to his feet. And this is SAUL GG. And Team Liquid will also having a little look at this one.
SAUL get out of zone and they can actually find a position to play on this southern side. But there's just such a long route from this point, and this is where you as a team have to start considering how you're going to find points. Could this 3KP be vital for your chances of getting match point eligibility later?
E36 taking some damage from on limit as well in the kill feed. But GG inside the exhibit. Just go having a little peek at a prod. And SAUL have decided they have to fight this. Legacy gets the shields broken. But Lufka will be the first down. Legacy will also fall. Everyone is weak apart from Zane. Zane in a 1v1. Zane will win it. Blast is also up. It was a 2v1. And it's a comfortable hold coming in from GG.
So now Vision have wrapped back round to take the fight against Reject here.
Oh, he has not loaded the gun though, Carter. He gets taken down.
Falcons just went out. Liquid also fall.
That's the big dogs.
Big teams falling now, but Vision are applying a lot of pressure to Reject. But now RRQ are sending one player over as Reject do get taken out.
RRQ, Pricey's having a look at this, and now Zach is left on his own. He's going to immediately go for the res onto Lota. I wonder if they're going to be able to be out of the line of sight of everyone else to look for a death box res a little bit later on. It was actually a Kraber shot from Pricey.
Yeah, they are going to be vulnerable from that right-hand side. You can see Zach Mesa, and by the way, RRQ are not letting them go. They are tag team at the moment, backing through this portal. But that portal is only going to last for so long.
Looks like Vision might have done enough to stay alive here. And I'm still interested to see if they can hit that death box res.
They're trying right now.
Wolves down in the canyon. Got to be careful, the team's moving above them as NIP have to be careful of the pressure coming in from GG. Kurev is last alive again for them here. Unlimit just been eliminated as well. And even though Kurev may escape here, GG is still trying to hunt him down.
Zane is relentless. Zane is inevitable as GG pick off another team. Ninjas in Pajamas go down. But now here comes Alliance sending themselves in onto E36 who are below them. And AG in the area as well.
AG up on high. Gonna be a lot of options for them on teams they want to fire upon in a few moments' time. Gotta be careful, watch it back, the triple swing coming in from GG, and Lucky is down. And then above them is AG, they hear the commotion. And they sense the opportunity for some free KP. They peek down, Jaguares will find one.
And actually a member from both teams have gone down.
Yanya, careful, Yanya.
GG have lost 2, Alliance also got knocked as well, but Aku replied as Gaming Gladiators, after a fantastic effort previously, will fall.
There's the Kraber! And for what looked like a fantastic position to play from, AG Global are dead. DK Esports will be out next as well! Oh, that's pricey!
One more.
Oh. Can't connect with the second shot, but the first one onto Aku is enough for them to really force Alliance into a difficult position here.
RRQ are holding so much space in this zone. Their major threat is going to be Wolves and Vision. Those 3 teams are in the best spots. Vision also taking up a lot of space. Now we check in with Sentinels. Down to just Blinkzer. Backs against the wall here.
By the way, Vision did get back up to a 3. All 3 players are healthy again. And they control the southwestern side of this zone. E36, CNAP is up. Fun going to be finished off on the low ground. But E36 not safe inside of this zone. They have to keep moving forward. Blinks is going to have to queue through this wall, and it's going to be blind.
They can take a little bit of a route through this snake as Vision. Zach's very low. But they've been able to answer back to the damage Elite were doing here. This is an important fight. You win this on the west, you control the entire west side.
Look at the chew coming from Carter. He says, come follow me. There's nobody down here. Sentinels have been eliminated. They can't make it out. Elite now have to drop. And Carl with the G7 scout in his hands has given the advantage to Vision. The winners of game 1 are about to delete Elite Esports.
And now Vision are the only team who are not in the building at the moment. They have the most space. AG Global down. Everyone else is residing in this same area. Although Alliance have just created a portal to the south, they're certainly going to be in a good position as well.
Wolves up on the high ground. No Name, what a moment he had yesterday. Pricey's having a look at this. He hears the fight in. Obley only sees the death screen as Enter Force 36 will be eliminated. Wow. We have 4 teams remaining. And there's a healthy Alliance up on the high ground.
Yeah, fantastic ball from Hackers to give Alliance this southern side. Recognized there was a gap, there was an opening because everyone was fighting each other. And now actually Vision, they're in a tough spot here because both RRQ and Wolves are having a little bit of a look at them, as are Alliance. And to try and plan this one out is going to be very tough indeed.
Well, Vision will be a team that has to move first here. Alliance have all of the height on the high ground. Talk about making the most of your opportunities. That is what makes you successful in a match point. Finals are a match point lobby. Alliance have got to do it.
So many teams who wouldn't have done what Alliance just did. They wouldn't have taken that risk because most teams would have thought Vision would still be up there. Now RRQ, they say, Vision, we don't want you here anymore. And they try and do some damage before they go back.
It's off the back of the Kraber shot. And now Carter down, Lota down. Barely any help to work with. Team Vision will be eliminated. Now the Kraber, so vital here. Wolves on the high ground, RRQ below them. But a Kraber in the hands of Hackis, in the hands of Pricey, could be a difference maker. Hackis playing the off angles, playing the space. He's on right, so he'll be able to queue back.
I love this though. You take an angle, you can add that little extra bit of damage, and then you just feed Unlucky and Aku. They're all going to play there, but now Wolves, they're going to be above them here. Maybe it's advantage RRQ.
Alliance make the play on the side of the building. They would have been vulnerable, having to move down, so they're trying to play this side cover. They were kind of forced to move from that height. And now they're ticking. And now they're burning. And with Aku down, all of a sudden the pendulum swings the way of Wolves Esports. No Name's found one. Alliance now down to 1. All 3 still healthy. No Name taking names. Hack is down as well. Last 2 from RRQ, and No Name is hunting.
Still not done yet. RRQ might get a chance to reset. Castle Wall comes out just in case though.
It's bank center zone. Wolves say, come to us, RRQ. If you're feeling brave.
Skynade.
No Name looking to cook. Oh, Kraber in the hands of Pricey though. One bullet could be a difference maker.
Tell you what.
Do your peek. Oh, Pricey! It's interesting now. It's a 2v1 for Pricey. Not enough. Wolves Esports close it out. But what an end game it was. If Pricey hits that,
the second one, oh my god,
this place explodes.
I'm not sure I could have jumped higher. Wolves Esports, they held strong. In the end, Alliance were kind of frustrated by the length of which it took for RRQ to approach as well. They took every moment inside that building away from the ring. And in the end, they just felt themselves too vulnerable below Wolves. And Wolves Esports, who have quite the following here in Paris, they put up some big numbers indeed. And whilst they have not quite caught up Team Vision, they do put themselves at 29 points as a total. So they are over halfway towards match point eligibility.
Incredible performance from Wolves. The number 1 seed, Apex South team coming into this event, well, they're starting to live up to that reputation. A big win for them. It felt like that endgame was in slow motion at one point. After Pricey hit that headshot, he saw the trailer. He saw the montage moment. But it's going to be Wolves who hold strong.
The advantage you have with a castle wall is just so significant as well. And even though it was a valiant effort as a 2, look at the reaction from Wolves. And to be honest, look at the reaction on the other side for RRQ, because they know equally how much points they just put on the board. They're only 1 point behind Wolves Esports. And right now, it is not about wins, it is about points.
It's about the race for points, you're right. It's the race to match point eligibility that matters for everyone in this lobby right now. 50 points is the target. Get to 50 points as quickly and efficiently as you can. Then you start worrying about winning games.
So the IGLs being put to work with some of these zones that we've seen so far as well. Back and forth they shift. As we look at the match results for match 2, Wolves Esports put 24 points on the board to send themselves up into second place. RRQ not far behind, and Alliance a massive third place for them, putting 12 points on the board as well.
Look at Team Vision in behind as well. Good KP for them. They put more points on the board in game number 2. Elsewhere, with the big points being soaked up by the top of the teams that are leaderboard, there are not really too many points to talk about to be shared from the rest of the lobby. It's been a fantastic start to match point finals, as we always expect. We'll have to see if that momentum continues after this break. Don't go anywhere. The ALGS Split 1 playoffs will continue.
Game baki hai guys.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, champion.
Now, I've just grabbed Zane off the stands. You know, he's trying to chill out before the competition today, but of course he's here to do a nice little interview with us. Zane, what do you think has contributed to your success so far in the tournament?
We've just been sticking to our plan, playing our game, and things have just been running smoothly for us, so hopefully it stays the same. And
yeah, a man with a plan, Zane. I like that indeed. Now, do you guys think you have what it takes to win this today?
100%, yeah. This is the best team I've ever been on. My teammates, they've got close to winning like 2 LANs so far, so adding me to the team, I think we can make it happen today, yeah.
Yes, I love those vibes, and I mean, today is the day. Now, since Effect hasn't actually made it into the finals today, do you think you have what it takes to be the best fragger for EMEA today?
100%, yeah. Last LAN that I made finals, I top frag, so hopefully we can do it again this time around. So yeah, 100%.
Well, you guys better be watching your screens today for Zane from Gaming Gladiators. Best of luck for you guys today, and that'll be those.
All right, I'm here in the stands. We just talked to Lufka. I'm here with Charlotte and Robert, Blast's sister and father. Guys, how do we feel supporting GG in the crowd right now? Charlotte, I'll go with you. This isn't your first LAN.
No, it's not. I've been coming to LANs now since LA, so I'm super proud of my brother. I know that he'll smash it, but I'm trying not to jinx anything, because every time I say that, then something goes wrong. So I'm hoping and praying that things go really well, and they deserve it.
And as someone who's watched these LANs before, I personally feel this is the best I've seen them play in a while. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is the first time I've actually been nervous. The whole, like, normally on LANs I'm an absolute wreck. Yeah. But I've actually managed to, like, somehow not have, like, palpitations every single day. Yeah. So it's kind of nice. I've been able to, like, okay, they're doing well. I'm trusting in them, you know?
Now, Robert, you're Blast's father. The journey of a parent in esports has got to be a little different. Talk to me about your experience and just being here.
My goodness me, all I can say is, put it this way, right from when he was leaving school, I knew he was going to do something techie. He found Apex and most of the games, but this game just stuck out for him, and he's been devoted to the cause ever since, and he's gone just from progress to progress. He's soared, he's rocketed, he's going for the game, he's aiming to win, and I have every faith he'll do that.
All right, I was going to say any final words. That was all the final words he needs. Yeah, GG, man, what support. Robert, pleasure to meet you. Charlotte, pleasure to see you again. GG and the family zone in the crowd here at EWC 26. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum and take a win today.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Apex Legends Global Series Year 6 Split 1 playoffs at EWC 2026. So far alone, we just saw Wolves pop off with game number 2 dub. I want to hear your thoughts back at home, guys. I want to know how long you think this is going to gonna go to. This is match point finals for a reason, as we get to see Team Vision leading the way with 34 points already. The fact that this team has already 17 kills in the span of 2 games makes you wonder, are major moments a thing of the past?
They may be, because that team is looking incredible. The duo of Loader and Carter alongside Zach have been impressive, right? The fact that we've minimized all of our point losses there on World's Edge, it's their worst map, and they still were able to grab 15 points alone. As we go over to the back half, it's starting to look like Team Falcons, Team Nemesis, Team Liquid. Are we shocked to see them at the very bottom? This is the time for them to wake up.
Shocked, if, I mean, maybe is it the ramp up? Maybe that's the ramp up. I mean, we've seen this happen before, but you know what we have also seen? It would just be a Cinderella story from Zach not making champs when he was originally on VP with Slayer and Lou, to getting the most wins in Pro League and now topping the overall standings. Team Vision starting off great, and as we've already mentioned, when it comes to match point finals, this is my favorite thing as we swap over out of World's Edge into Olympus.
Yeah, the cool part about Olympus, right, is that we really loved the left side of the map. So when you're thinking about that story of Team Vision, where did they prioritize? They grabbed 24th pick, Somers University. So knowing that we can get a lot of points early prior to some of those zones, but who knows, maybe we carve our path to the west. The majority of our teams picked this about, you know, their 3rd map pick overall. And I'm immediately looking at For Fun Esports, but my big question is, where will Elite Esports be starting? And that is at Oasis. Now here's the deal, Elite Esports, they were powerhouses in group stages, but they are getting run down here in the early match point finals games.
I mean, and with the amount of zones we've seen pull over onto Summers and Gardens, it makes you wonder how the Olympus end zones are going to look like on match point finals. And for those of you guys who are new to our match point finals format, remember, a team has to achieve 50 points. And then after getting 50 points in a separate game, be the game winners to be crowned your ALGS Split 1 Playoffs champions. And ready with the way that Vision is playing, nearing almost 40 points. This is what you like to see. And then now Wolves ramping up themselves, getting 12 KP in a game 2 win, is trailing right behind the Titans thus far after just 2 games alone behind Visions.
Well, if we're going to be talking about Wolves just before we dive into the Falcons, the Wolves from APAC South are one of the most consistent teams across not only Stormpoint and E-District, but also Olympus. So rotating map to map to map like this should be in their favor. For Falcons, though, we talked about it at the bottom, and it's crazy to see that they are just, I don't know, Vicky, like, how do you think they're looking?
I mean, Hal looks a little nervous. I could understand.
Hal nervous?
Well,
I mean, Aku's staring him down. He's like, I may be the young guy here for Alliance, but, you know, we're warming up.
Very true, as we get to take a look at the Alliance fans in the crowd. They know how to show up time and time again, from the family to the fans who have been trailing the Alliance story to making it into this finals lobby. They know what they got, but it's about converting into it when it comes to being in the top 6, 13 points. But it's still that very big gap that we have from even RRQ up to Zeddy in 4th place with 19 points. We're ramping up to go onto Olympus, everyone. We're gonna see with our teams getting ready within their POIs, but looking at the history and already talking about the legend bands, Tiff, we've seen Crypto and Seer off the table, and it's kind of followed that suit. Looking at the way that the group stages played out, as well as that survivor stage.
Yeah, when you say that survival stage, typically we had that Mad Maggie in that 3rd game ban. However, we did see Watson banned early when it came to Olympus. So my thing is, are we prioritizing the Watson? Because I personally think we need to. And if I confirm, Vicky, how many picks is Watson?
The fact that Watson and Mad Maggie are tied at 100% each, Tiff, you are on the money when it comes to these legend bands and how it's kind of adjusted a little bit going through our different game. Oh my, hold on.
Hold on, guys, this is groundbreaking. This is groundbreaking. We're going to the west on Olympus for the first time
time in the Year 6 ALGS Split 1 playoffs.
Do my eyes deceive me? Am I in a fever dream? I'm rubbing them really quick because you gotta look at the teams who do go over to the west side of Olympus. I mean, even thinking about the POI drafts for the teams that think they're gonna have advantage when they end up getting even Team Visions over to Somers, ZE2, and with a lot of these other squads who will be able to get the ring console, they've gotten the memo early and they're already going in for a quick rotate.
Brilliant. I'm looking at Elite. They've dropped the evac tower over at Oasis. Ninjas in pajamas with the utmost rotation out of there for everyone that's got the 20 picks on Watson. So everyone, ring consoles galore. Zeta Division and Zeddy Esports are rotating towards Hammond Labs, likely to get access to confirm that we truly are going to the west. Now, for the teams with the longest rotations, bro, Team Vision, Somers, that one hurts a little. Back to Estates we go.
Already starting off with this early fight with a huge pileup of teams here. Sentinels being one of those teams to settle down. Got the fans behind us ourselves, but it's going to be tough for Sentinels since, you know, they're going to have to rock out here with their POI, fully white AG2. Who tried to start off strong already, seeing the portal play right in front of them and losing out Nizula, and Hoguadis as the next victim. Sentinels looking like they went in for a kidnap from Blinkster, who is on the raid. Now taking control over onto the high ground, and a little bit of revenge now is going to come out of the hands of Luca, but a great way to start things off and getting this KP in early points.
But the best part about these buildings, right, is you have these crannies, but when Mad Baggy's prevalent, a riot drill will definitely hit a full for you. Good thing we can hit that death box recovery just a few more seconds, but incoming frag grenades are going to keep the Sentinels from being able to do that. Honestly, get in that tree right there, Fun. You shield cell up and let's get our Blinkster back.
The fact that he was able to get that so cool.
What? Blast!
He was in the line of sight. We just spoke to the family of Gaming Gladiators, talking to the father and also the sister Charlotte, who has been able to be here to support her brother. And Gaming Gladiators have had one heck of a tournament run. AG, though, a team that also has been able to ramp up now down to a duo. Yanya's also on that raid to combat that with Blinkster being on the raid themselves, but with so many teams now moving up, there's a lot of space to share over by Estates.
Yeah, it's been a slower start for AG Global for sure this entire week. They're one of our only teams that has not actually achieved a map win across our days here. So keep tabs on them as Sentinels are in the same boat. AG Global definitely looking to try and improve on this position. Portals galore to keep through the Watson fences, and we have not gotten Blinkster back just yet.
Yeah, Luca now gonna be able to follow up here as well. Soon as the next to go, Sentinels are your first team eliminated for game number 3. It's a tough one here, Tiff, but it's gonna be a cleanup with so many teams now trying to farm this KP. GK not moving from their spot, happily sitting underneath these buildings, and with the amount of Watsons, every team having a Watson, this is what you can expect as RRQ also from within this building, trying to find an opportunity to try to get a kidnap and protect this portal with the Watson fences.
And that's the thing, right? With so many wraiths and altars in our lobby, it's making these holding the vicinities difficult, right? RRQ have the wraith, so sure, they can't pop through a floor to go. They have to go in through the fences as GG last alive here. Next to the pylon, fences are up, going for the res. RRQ trying to get up there, or do we? Do we full send this? No, there's too many teams here.
I mean, with NIP and Cole being so low, which, by the way, this has been one heck of a tournament. Looking at Cole, he is going to be able to go back, and they get the finding Strafing Flame on the other side of that portal. Curve was ready for the suppressed fire just in case, and you saw those Watson fences lined up to try to block out the mouth of that portal, but Vayne gets caught as the riot drill does more than enough since he was literally 1 pixel of HP. With 19 squads left, though, it's literally just a drive-by with these teams just poking from afar, but the missile, once again, the drill just drilling into the team underneath them. As the nade, oh my gosh, the finishing blow to find Vayne, and now we get to get the Deathbox res on their side.
And Gaming Gladiators with 5 kills so far in this game alone. Just need Zane back, our fragger. But if you keep those riot drills frying into the other teams, whittle down their resources, however, those pylons are going to keep. Meanwhile, we need a replay of this. Unlimit move in and take out Alliance.
Alliance going out early once again. Better looks here for Unlimit to scoop that up on an isolated fight. Over onto the north side on the outskirts of Oasis, where there was a ring console, right? So you could have gotten that information. Team Lucan are going to be transcending through Fight Night. Out of the north side is RRQ, not letting NIP breathe for a second. Remember, they sent out that nade that landed at their feet before.
They can't catch a break with another Deathbox res that we saw too in the feed. A Strafing Flame, hopefully he's going to be able to get these shields up. As we see GG now move up, and that's the side-by-side highlight actually from Sentinel, since this is their POY. That's how they fell a little earlier. But the live feed is on the bottom left here as AG do get a knock after they lost out on Hawades, and it was with a portal push to find NIP.
Ninjas in Pajamas also eliminated during that skirmish as we tune into Enter Force 36. Obli is down and Synap and Juzna play around the pylon, currently open with multiple options for teams to stare at them here. But Reject, also another team hailing from APAC North, were the ones initially dealing that damage to them before deciding to back away.
The team's not trying to get involved in the pile up here. Reject trying to clear this northern side closer to that evac tower. We see where E36 is situated over onto the choke on the north side that exits where Unlimited had taken that fight earlier against Alliance. But a lot of teams playing on the edge because this is going to be a Southern Estates pool.
Ooh, that's going to be crazy because we don't actually pull straight towards Dockyard. We bring up the map. You can see right there Zeddy Esports holding just on the outskirts of that rift. Team Falcons there. Team Nemesis back in their home of Dockyard. Do have Reject just ahead of them, but you have to start thinking about where we are going to approach that next circle and what information do we have. The ring console there at Dockyard will be able to get hit by the Watson from Team Nemesis, and they'll know exactly how they need to approach this. It's not going to be easy considering we have about 8 or 9 teams playing around the Estates area, and of course that little pocket with the 2 survey bins outside there. Ooh, that's going to be tough.
And it's going to be great too, to at least being able to hold on to the high ground if they clear that southern side of the zone. It really depends on that pile-up that we will eventually see against Zeddy as well as Team Vision before they end up wrapping behind them. But it's a side-by-side with Falcons. Mentioned having a pretty rough start. Tip now playing off the southern choke themselves and playing it safe here, while E36 not so safe themselves. They do lose out on Synap in the process thanks to Rufa, who catches him with the Hemlock.
Yeah, Synap plays a lot of these movement characters as kind of main IGL and is just getting caught out on some of those entry moments. Obli and Juzna now kind of pulling together, playing behind the knockdown, under fire. Wolves from the back end, though, shooting towards Reject could allow E36. No, just kidding. We got Unlimited in the mix, and Enter Force 36 go down.
Unlimited is seeing the buffet in front of them and is scooping them up just for themselves here. Gonna be able to get that KP as Zeta Division also are neighboring the other side of the wall once they get through that choke. And as you see the nice flyby of where everybody is, this is the real estate that we were talking about with the dive up of a lot of these teams that are essentially coexisting with one another. But other squads who are still playing on the edge, as AG still stuck as a duo, seeing if they have any opportunity because they were lacking on meds. I mean, you don't even have a med kit if you're Nizul. He's got the shield bat and only 3 shield cells. He's out of this fight, and I'm worried about that ammunition he's got for the alternator.
Yeah, it's not like you putting Alter here. You've got the race. So you're not going to be able to use Alter's passive to kind of loot the boxes around you, and we haven't taken an actual fight and finished it and had the chance to slurp up a lot of that loot. We do have the Maggie Ball in our back pocket should we need to, but the issue is you pounce on one team here in Estates, you're getting full send. Back to S8UL, a little bit of a slower start for them though as they're rotating.
Hold on, some Aussie on Aussie violence real quick here because the Legacy, and we saw Zero getting knocked from both sides. While S8UL get a little bit of revenge and panic, trying to back up Zero in the process. We're gonna have to see how that's gonna play out because on the other side of that choke, it's Vision moving up behind Falcons who want the Mythic Bin. The team that comes out on top of this fight will be able to have priority over whether one of these teams will get the Craver. We're gonna have to see as Carter moves up. Looking on the other side of the lift, though, it's still this other fight happening against S8UL and Team Liquid, so it's this pile-up as Vision has to be careful because the 3P is behind them from Zeddy. Before Loader is going to be able to try to get this res, but you know that Zeddy's right there.
Team Liquid take out S8UL, and Vision are going to have to get on the move because here comes Zeddy, here comes Dupe, and they immediately make their presence known. D's with a play, he knocks Loader, and Carter joins up. Team Vision is out.
Gotta hit them with the dupe. Let me even scoop that up, making them fall in 15th place. And it's kind of great to see how Falcons see them now. Visions gets eliminated. They get the Mythic Bin. They're now gonna look at Zeddy, and Team Liquid, who took out S8UL, will be able to get involved themselves with a possible 3P.
You mentioned the Mythic Bin, right? And there's a Kraber in Hal's hands. Now, from this side of things, we can walk up into that next circle. The issue is it's incredibly open, so that Kraber is going to be needed to open up these engagements for those quick fights. However, we just saw Zeddy 3P up onto Team Vision, who are still needing to come out of the tunnel behind Falcons.
Why they're not trying to overcommit too, and that's why with so many ultras too in this lobby, you got that portal to just reset if you need off the Void Nexus. Unlimit though, who have been able to scoop up a total of 4 KP for this team. Slowly but surely, with round 3 closing in behind their backs, they gotta start moving up, and it's Reject waiting to gatekeep them here as they move up themselves off the portal to try to get onto the high ground, but trying to mix it up too. You have one, and you go have the other to then pull it yourself up into the left side of the high ground, but you bait them. You see the Wrecking Ball coming in from right behind them, and this may be their opportunity. Oh, off the what the
They drop the Void Passions.
No
they
way.
catch Axis. We need a reload. There we go. Peace is able to finish the blow, but we get caught out on the left. Yulariman and Peace diving throughout Urice.
Can we talk about the positioning of that Void Passage to get the abduction while Reject do get eliminated?
Wait. They really just said hold this frag. Really do. Elite, though, one of the best teams here on Olympus, with the majority of their points coming from this map in particular. Good to see them still here fighting to climb up the leaderboard. Back to Estates for fun. Wolves, who's in second place, tied with their APAC South neighbors RRQ at 30 points.
Oh, and they get the res on the death box too. Unlimit. After clearing this northern side, coming out of the fight that we saw earlier from Alliance to get the death box res, Zeta Division are neighboring them. Now they're looking behind them and having to be careful. Zeta Division hear this happening. Looking ahead too, with Elite still alive and covering these southern buildings of Estates. Dropping below with these resets that we're currently seeing from these teams that have just completely taken over this POI.
They are just poised and ready. It's a shame they're still on all blues, but they just really haven't had any good fights yet, right? 0 kills, 13 squads remaining. And as they keep tabs on where everything is going, they are on that northern side. You mentioned Unlimit, Zeta, Team Liquid, teams that are wrapping. But from the south, things are going to get difficult. Zeddy immediately finding pressure from Skittlecakes across the way. And RRQ and AG Global can hear this.
So we saw them take out Team Vision. Now they've been able to hold onto the high ground that we were looking at before. Team Nemesis are looking at them, but Zeddy are going to be able to move up into that next zone where they really don't have to worry about Falcons, who were isolated in the compound over to the south side of that choke that we saw earlier with the Mythic Bin, while Unlimit now move up. Looking at Team Liquid, for those of you wondering, they took a huge roundabout rotation, and now they are looking dead at Unlimit as Yulariman taking some shots off this G7, yeeting at the Wrecking Ball, but looking behind them is Elite, who want a chunk of the action. Team Liquid now moving around, playing off the rocks, has 0 peppers into them. Unlimit get eliminated, and AG Global meet them in the lobby.
Team Liquid starting to heat up here in Olympus finally. Just takes to map 3, and we've moved up to 15th overall on the leaderboard. Riot drills happening as Zeddy Esports finding a home out on the rock. Let it eat, intercept all, but Dupe still the health ticking down as they work to stabilize.
Nemesis is trying to stabilize. Oh no, but Sacred can catch a break. At least he's going to be able to hide right behind the gen, while Nemesis are looking to get the Deathbox Rex onto Albert lately, but having to be careful because anything right here is Duke. Now tries to fully swing on Sam, but Skittle goes down. Former teammates, now enemies. As Sacred now tries to swing, playing off the knockdown shields, and look who tries to involve themselves from the high ground, forcing Deeds to back away. It's the pile up here as Gaming Gladiators have not left from their position. They see the opportunity, they dive in, and now Sacred's left alone, but a huge shot from Sacred! Huge! As Wolves do take out the solo, but that's without Sacred taking on Gaming Gladiators next.
And that's what happens when you move into Estates with multiple teams. Everyone's looking for angles, and Zeta now in the building across from Elite. 1 kill. And into the Void Passage we go. The Riot drill to try and finish off the damage. We've got a wingman, we've got plenty of bullets, and we're just gonna let it rip.
Dude, kinda.
The young gun.
He has been playing insane. 81 bullets though in the R9, taking some shots at Yuka. Quid's going to be able to use that void passage, but taking their time as round 5 closes in right behind their backs now. This is going to be difficult for them to make this next rotate because it's only Wolves, For Fun, and Liquid in this next zone.
But the moment they move, that doorway gets opened up, and the Thermite, it's just proving to do so much damage to them, and we have little time. We're going to need to use that Maggie Ball for the rotation, and Zeta, Yuka still on the ground, Mike full health. He's trying to get the res before they roll, and Elite Esports has been eliminated.
I'm sorry, but No Name is the only name on my mind. As GK now take out the final player. Onto Zeddy here as Deeds goes down and drop moves up, but he's literally one shot. Takes a portal, no way! Off the left side, he didn't mean to do that. He gets stunned, he gets slowed, and the rest of GK get eliminated. 6 squads left.
RRQ, so consistent, almost into the top 6, doing everything they can. We lose out on Zeta, and Falcons are the ones that everyone seems to be looking at as they take down RRQ.
Wow. You can't make this up. Falcons on the opposite end of this final zone with Liquid on the north side. Falcons taking away 5 total KP in their pockets with these remaining 4 squads, and with the Mythic bin, Hal has the Kraber, he's got the gold R9, and he's looking at the teams like For Fun that will have to move out of these buildings on the opposite side from Liquid Wolves Esports.
The best part about that is not only that, he grabs an L-Star, throws the Kraber on the ground. He's probably going to use the rest of the bullets, pick up the L-Star for endgame. Falcons are going to do so much damage in a little time once this circle collapses. But Wolves are the question on everyone's mind. They need 12 points to hit match point.
Wow. So close with the way that Wolves have been playing. Hal, Kraber in hand with just 4 bullets. Not going to have the infinite ammo. L-Star in the other before backing away. Not having that amp is actually huge. I mean, look at this. They are starving in terms of ammo. Walt C2 with the gold hemlock, it looks like. Wolves now taking their time and looking at For Fun.
And we have to talk about Team Liquid as well, right? On the other side, like you mentioned, they're going for a 2-1 split. The job of the solo is to keep Team Falcons from moving north and not rotating towards the east. Wolves and For Fun, at some time, you're going to have to hit these ults. With the Valk, though, on No Name, we know they like to take to the sky to see where everyone is and slam down at the end.
Wolves for Apex South now with 38 points alone after taking game number 2 on World's Edge with double-digit KP to destroy, or attempt to destroy, the Watson. Fences here backing away, the nades on No Name's feet. He doesn't have the Kraber like we saw just yesterday, but we know he's so quick with it, but have to deal with Team Liquid on the other side as they take this slow. Final zone closing behind their backs.
And Team Liquid give up the 2-1 split. They pull together, and Wolves cross, make it straight onto For Fun. Tyler down, but a nade rips into the Wolves.
And Rex goes down as Wolves go out in 4th, but they got a huge amount of KP as Falcons move up. For Fun get eliminated. It's Falcons versus Liquid, but Falcons with the high ground. They take game number 3 on Olympus.
We talked about this moving into Olympus, Vicky. What was that going to look like with Falcons and Team Liquid at the bottom of the leaderboard? And both of those teams, first and second place in map number 3. They recognize there's a scramble to get to that 50, and if we let it go for too long, our chances dwindle each and every moment.
And let's not forget, Tiff, something that you pointed out. Falcons and Liquid were literally in dead last in this lobby before this game.
Yeah. It be like that sometimes, Vicky. It really do. But we've seen crazier things.
And the fact that both of them, by the way, with Falcons taking the lead over Liquid because they take that dub, but both of them got 7 KP as we see the CEO fans in the crowd.
That has to be just a sigh of relief because it can be such a momentum-based game. And you have to remember, Team Liquid, Team Falcons, these guys advanced on through the group stages. They didn't play through that 10-game gauntlet survival, so they had a day off. In a sense, those first 2 games they played, warm-ups. We're just getting started.
And they had some time to sit back and look at how the action played off here. As we get to see the fans, Team Falcons, they rise up, fly up, while Team Liquid do come right after them. 16 total points for this team, but it's so difficult to ignore what Wolves has been putting on as a masterclass, man. Like, are you kidding me? Already at 38 points. RRQ right behind him with 37. I mean, this top end of the overall standings, after just 3 games alone, is already looking to build its gap across the rest of the lobby.
Look, I tell you, that's just why I wear sunglasses all the time. You saw me down in the metro, popping the sunglasses. I'm just trying to be like Strafing Flame, okay? But he hasn't had the capability to net a win just yet. But if you guys remember, we're here for match point finals. We don't care when you win. It's as long as you've got 50 points and you close it out with the win, that's when it matters.
It's almost like storyline too to see in a stage ending like that, right? Olympus showing face with a completely whiplash of a zone pool than what we're used to seeing. Take a look at your match results. Falcons 2 take the top with the 7 KP. Liquid to follow right behind them. The story of what Wolves and Team RRQ were able to put in. Able to get the placement points, the KP on top of it. And then you look on the other side, it was unfortunate for Sentinels because that is their POI on Olympus and how they were able to try to hold things down in that middle building. We know that sometimes it could be a little difficult when everybody's staring at you in the lobby, but I'm hearing that we got an interview with one of the members of Wolves.
Three maps into the match point finals, and I have got Crazy Kong here from Wolves. Listen to the crowd go crazy. I love that. Anyone can say anything about this tournament, but what they can't say is that Wolves Esports haven't played their game. You guys have been incredible. You guys have been taking space, getting aggressive, playing the way that you guys want to play. Now, I just want to ask, it seems like you guys are really comfortable today, even in this atmosphere. Does it feel that way?
那也可以看得出，今天你们战队就是手感火热，就是进攻性也打得非常非常的好，然后今天就明显你们状态好像今天非常特别的出色，你们是否也感觉如此呢？
对的，因为我觉得今天我的队友们的状态和自己就是精神的一个状态吧，都非常的好，所以我觉得今天我们是非常有信心的。
Absolutely, I feel like it's not just us being in good form, even our mental state, we are in absolute tip-top form, so we are very confident in going all the way here today.
I love that. I love the positivity. Now, having said that, it hasn't entirely been plain sailing throughout this tournament, but focusing on today, have you guys made any adjustments, given the level of teams that are in this lobby right now? And also, just to kind of back that question up, map 2, super impressive winning on World's Edge. Is that your comfort map?
今天，应该说这个比赛到这里来，你们这个路程也不算是完全顺利的，也是有碰到一些挫折的，但是今天明显感觉出你们这个状态非常好。你们是做出了哪些调整吗？比方说当时图2你们已经成功的获胜了，是因为那张地图对你们来说是最顺手、最就是发挥最好的一张图吗？
其实也不算吧，因为我们是第2局的唯一一家纽卡索队伍，然后我觉得我们的战术储备也好，包括前面受到的挫折也好，都是让我们今天打得更好的动力吧。
I wouldn't say that the second map was like our best map, but I would say that the journey over here up to this point, every single loss that we've had, every single death that we had, we learned something from it, and we've been developing as a team, and this is what allowed us to become who we are today, right here, right now.
Spoken like a true top team. I love that. Now let's touch base on that match 2 win once more. Did that boost the confidence and give you some momentum to think that this dream can now become a reality, that EWC victory?
你们刚才第2场的获胜，是否直接给了你们这种信心、这种动力，来让你们剑指冠军呢？
我觉得会的，我们一定会往最终的目标去冲。
The map 2 victory absolutely has, and right now our targets, our aim, our sight is aimed towards the grand champion.
Oh, I love that. Listen to that. That's great. Thank you so much for joining me in this interview. Oh, let's go with the shake. Thank you very much, Crazy Kong. Don't go anywhere because we've got another interview lined up. It's Rain Day with Zach.
That's right. Major moments redefined. That's been the last year for you, Zach, and Team Vision, of course, Loader and Carter. How has it been? I want to walk through that last game. You were a little upset. You and Hal were exchanging words on the stage because you thought you had the game-winning spot.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we were making a really good play.
And we knew we were much closer to purple armor than the team in front of us. We knew it had a free walk-in and, I mean, basically a free game. And the Mythic spawned on them, which forced us to fight them early. We got third-partied, and we were the ones that died. And, you know, it's a battle royale at the end of the day. Sometimes the luck doesn't go your way, and that's what happened. Happy for them that they won, but, you know, I feel good that I still had a really good game plan, and I got to see them win a free game. If it worked out my way, different story.
Yeah, takeaway is that you were in the right position to take advantage of the success. Now, you did have success. You were the first team to jump out and win that game. What was, I guess, the environment of your team, knowing that, hey, guys, it's match point, we're performing going into game 2 and game 3, saying if we just keep this up, we are going to be on match point?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we feel really good about it. We went in today feeling individually like we're favorites amongst, you know, Apex fans. We may not be, but we're really confident in our abilities. And after we won that first game, it really like validated that feeling. And I don't think we're going to slow down. I mean, that game may have only been 1 point, but it was a great game plan ruined by an unlucky Mythic. And I don't think there's going to be too many more games.
Okay, you said if this game goes 9 or 8, you've done something wrong. Just expand on that very quickly before we head out with this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on 35 points. I'm 15 off match point. We just finished game 3. If this goes to 9, that means that I had many chances on match point and I failed, and I'm not going to let that many get away from me, so.
All right, well, there's a good juju here. I think the last team I interviewed on stage won the next game, so we'll see if you can continue it. Zach Mazer from Team Vision. So much more. ALGS Matchpoint Finals coming up, so don't go anywhere.
Team and also our region as a whole, we came from a very low starting point. We've always been the underdog. When we were able to rise up and as a region, as a team, win that EWC Championship in 2025, that was just, how can you not love that story?
This roadmap is made me very proud of to being one of the MDY fans.
An exciting first 3 matches here at Match Point Finals. And boy, have we gotten some shifts and changes on that leaderboard. But before we break those 3 games down, let's talk about the Esports World Cup Creator Program, which is running parallel to the live competition. Every streamer can apply via the EWC website to co-stream EWC and engage with their viewers to earn rewards. So make sure you check that out. And while we're at it, let's see if we can actually get a quick interview with one of those content creators, which is going to be none other than Sid from SAUL. Because right now, SAUL, I mean, we expected them to start off hot, but at the moment, they're not doing that great. Do you think they're going to be able to bounce back, Lace?
I mean, my prediction is SAUL, and we've seen them do it before. It is getting a little bit too close and a little bit too cutthroat at the moment. As you can see, you know, we just had an interview with Zach there, and he's like, we're going to do this. Everyone is hungry for it.
All right. Well, hey, Sid, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
How are you enjoying the tournament so far?
EWC is a big thing for us. It's like a festival back here in India, so I'm having fun. It's been a fun ride. Group stages were insane. Slow start, but I think we can still get it.
All right, yeah, you mentioned it. Slow start, Lace.
Yeah, we got the same brain. I'm on SAUL. We got the same team. You know, I put them as my prediction. So we don't want slow and steady, but, you know, they're going to come out of the gate now. What I wanted to ask you, do you have any words of encouragement right now for the boys on SAUL?
What else can I say? You know, they are being backed by 2 of the most passionate sporting nations in the world. We have insane passion in the audience. I just hope they win because I want them to come to India and we are going to treat them like kings. We're going to pick them up on our shoulders and take them to our gaming house and then party there. So yeah. What else can I say? I just hope they make it. It's just 3 games. It's a slow start, but I think they have it in them to take the win.
That's right. I'm going to run down on stage for you and tell you got to get lifted up on some shoulders. So let's pull it in, boys.
That's right. Thank you so much, Sid, for joining us. Don't forget that you can also join the Esports World Cup Creator Program. Just go to the EWC website to sign up. But now let's talk about this past 3 games because my goodness, we have gotten some big surprises, and we're actually going to start off with the winners of the last game. They didn't start off too hot, but we finally see a bit of a bounce back here from Team Falcons.
I mean, I said it before, you can never count them out. And the reason is that they are so comfortable in the heat of the moment, in these tournaments where the stress is at the most. If they make it to finals, people might not say they're winning, but when they win, everybody's like, yeah, that's usually what happens.
And if they don't win, people talk louder, don't they?
Oh, yeah, even more so.
I mean, you had them coming in as underdogs, right? After seeing those first 3 games, do you still feel like they're underperforming, or could this be a bit of a switch?
I mean, they needed that win big time. They were in 20th place, I want to say, before they were going into that game. But this is kind of what we've seen in the group stages. You know, they won game 1 or game 2, and then they start to fizzle out. So we're going to see if that continues here. But we know that Falcons usually performs best in these big lobbies with the best teams in it because they can predict what better teams are going to do better than they can predict what the worst teams are going to do. So for them to have that big game, massive confidence boost, and I definitely think that they can carry that momentum open. You know, this has been like probably the least we've talked about them, like I said, but there's always a chance you can never count a team like this out.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, going to the overall ranking, you can see Wolves Esports in first place right now by just 1 point. Don't forget, though, the match point is set at 50. Then after that, they have to make sure they secure a win. And I'm going to actually go to Team Vision, back to you, Snipe, because, man, this squad actually started off hot.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for this team because they had the most wins in all of North America. They came into this tournament. They know how to win games. Zach Mazer with his IGLing, they win 50% of the games that they get to top 5. We've already seen them in 2 top 5s, 1 win, 1 not. And, you know, I wonder if that game 2 is going to come back and bite them a little bit because they really did leave a power position to go put themselves to clean up some kills. I know they wanted that KP. They want to get to that match point format, but at the same time, you don't need to change the game. You just got to get there. And we saw what happened in that last game. They focused too much on Falcons and they got flanked. Someone wasn't watching their back. I kind of wonder what the comms were like there. But overall, I know for a fact that this team is someone that everyone needs to be worried about because they can win games in a match point format. That's what you need to do.
I mean, the scariest point that a lot of IGL should really look at is the fact that Zach said, I saw the game-winning play, and this happened, and he still made a play, but he was 1 fight away from close out that game. If you're an IGL and you're like consistently being able to put yourself into endgame, 1 fight away from winning, you have done your job really, really good.
Yeah, and a team that was actually able to perform really well in group stages, coming off first place. Elite Esports not having one of the hottest stars here, Lace, as I mean, right now, they are just not looking good, alongside with SAUL, sadly.
Yeah, we were all, you know, obviously the group stages showed us something completely different for Elite. They were able to come out swinging and maintain those high points, high kills as well. Nothing is happening for them at the moment, which is a little bit of a crazy sort of feat for them. Of course, you know, with 3 games down with a few more left to go, no one's on match point for finals yet, so it's not out for them, but why are they not showing up right now?
Okay, Lace, I'm gonna say this once, I'm gonna say this twice. First off, scrims, lies. And then onlines, lies. And now we're on group stages, lies. So we don't know if they can keep up the momentum or not. They haven't gotten it started, but I mean, we'll have to see. So far, it seems, though, a lot of these experienced players coming out and really showing up why they were once at the top and they can reach top again.
I mean, talking about elite players, right? One team that is also down there towards the bottom, NIP. I thought maybe the experience that they got out of survival, we were going to be seeing that momentum carry over here, but at the moment, Snipe, that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, they've only been improving throughout this tournament, and for them to start off slow is a bit of a surprise to me. I thought they were going to carry that momentum forward with everything that they've been doing, but I mean, we just watched 2 teams at 19th and 20th end up top 2 in that last game and propel themselves forward. So we are still early in this set, but we heard Zach, he says, you know, if it goes 8 or 9, then something's going wrong because they're starting so strong. I really think that we are going to continue to see teams elevate themselves. We might see Elite win the next game. We have so many amazing teams in this lobby that, you know, it's anyone's game yet. We don't even have a single team on match point yet.
I mean, just to quickly touch on that, we saw it on match 2. They made that crazy rotate into zone, but they had difficulty bunkering and holding it down. So it's, yeah, definitely NIP might need to do something like a little bit different from that. But yeah, I mean, they're getting into that position, but they were getting peppered in match 2, which, yeah, they're finding it difficult just to keep that building and stay in there.
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing is that the map is changing all the time. You don't really get to set your footing. So this is the most fun part of every stage of this tournament. It's very different. Is that you go from we're playing 10 games in a 3-2-2-3, and now you're swapping maps constantly. You have to keep adapting, and that really goes to show why these teams are that strong and why they keep coming up ahead is because they're so adaptable.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things about that last game specifically was, you know, Estates ending, we had Watsons and Maggies. Every team was getting peppered by the Maggie Qs in the drills, and the teams that really dominated that game were the ones playing the edge and not putting themselves in the center. All the zone teams, the NIPs, you know, we saw Sentinels, everyone just getting blasted in the center of the map. Yet Liquid had all the space around the edge. Falcons had so much space, and that was interesting to see how much the comps come into play when it comes to this.
That's right. I mean, with Wolves only being 12 points away from hitting match point in this last game, I know the crowd's going to be going wild. So it's Tiff and Vicky, because this game 4 is going to be insane.
Thank you so much, Seven, because the arena is hitting up. I mean, the fact that we are already 3 games down as we transition onto a different map. Falcons are soaring now up from the bottom end of the leaderboards now to the top, and we hear the confidence from Zach. We hear the confidence from Wolves when it comes to leading the pack, and currently, Wolves are leading the pack with 38 total points. I love hearing the insight, too, from Zach Mazer and how they really wanted to prio that unfortunate spawn of the Mythic bin, but specifically that lot. But now you have to make this adaptation when it comes to match point finals, because no team is on that 50-point threshold.
Yeah, exactly. And as we move over to back-to-back maps on E-District, you have to start looking at the teams that focus on E-District to get the most points. You mentioned Wolves. Well, guess what they grabbed in their POI draft? Humbert Labs, a big contention point because we've seen a lot of draft point. We've seen Humbert. We've also seen Energy Bank and the Rogue City Hall, in which Team Nemesis is landing in. But a lot of teams that are still at the top of the leaderboard that could eclipse 50 points here are RQ. 38% of their points from the past week come from this map. It is their best performing map throughout our series. And if we have 2 maps back to back, let's say we eclipse 50, do we go in win condition and win it on E-District? But here's the deal. They haven't won a map yet this week.
Ooh, that's actually crazy to think too, as we take a look at the fans, but you have to keep that in mind. I love that insight, Tiff. Yeah. Because it's the back-to-back E-District that we are going to have for match 4 and 5. So it really depends on how a lot of these teams prio that when it comes to their POIs, and how we're going to see if some of these zone pools pull, because it's kind of been a very similar situation, right? When it comes to predicting how these zone pools have been on E-District alone.
And we were also kind of wondering, would we see a Mad Maggie ban? Would we get a Watson ban? We actually get the Watson ban on Olympus here, so we could see a ton of Mad Maggies come through yet again with that Riot drill, bullying a ton of our teams in these buildings. I looked at Alliance, who are landing in Street Market, and we did get some endings in that vicinity, which honestly, for a team like Alliance that's kind of further down on the leaderboard, you want to traverse more space. You want to have to fight for that position, to rack up those kills, to jump up the leaderboard. And like you heard with that interview, looking at the head-to-head, this team on your screen, guys, 0 there, 2nd place in the last map. Waltzy, 1st place in the last map. We saw a 1v1 earlier in the group stage, but we're tied on kills right now. But you know what? Could one of these guys break a tie for the week and just lift the trophy at the end?
Maybe when they aren't taunting yet, right? You gotta wait to the very end.
Would you fight Waltzy in like an arm match, like an arm
got me messed up, girl.
Bro can put up like what, like 50, 100 pounds each arm?
Down.
Dude, his biceps like the size of
Hello.
house head. It's
Down.
actually insane. It's actually crazy, dude. Like,
जुना वो channel आहे ते घातला boy.
elevating the vibes and the morale of the team. You already know you're
description
looking
ना.
ahead as we get started here on E-District.
Yo,
Join कर आणि message घाल मग WhatsApp वर.
they get ready to get into the arena. Honestly, I can't
ना तू join कर और join कर हे कर दे.
RRQ or the Alliance fans are
याने फालतू
allowed,
बनवून
'cause
दे.
they're throwing some shade out there too. They're
मेल जा रहा है तुझे?
here.
हाँ ये कर दे.
That's what I like to hear in the crowd live from Paris. The energy is unmatched when it comes to our Apex Legends Global Series. energy in the crowd for our lands.
There's nothing quite like an ALGS land. So the fact that all of you are here in Paris to witness all of the action live just goes how much to show. You guys are dedicated to Apex Legends. You are dedicated to the players. You are dedicated to the community. So why not get into it? Let's move to E District.
As we move in, and we got game number 4 on the horizon. We've said goodbye, by the way, to Watson as she was tied in our legend picks together with Mad Maggie. Imagine just getting drilled from afar when it comes to playing inside these buildings, especially when it comes to teams that will be using the Void Nexus off these ultras that you could absolutely expect going into E-District.
All right, now as we look at match number 4, Legend Select has occurred, and Guild is on Caustic. A ton of Maggies throughout, so there's a good chance that we are going to witness a Maggie ban with a 100% pick rate. Altars are 16 of them in the lobby, which means Wraith only 3. Definitely going to be using the Altars Void Passage a lot more to navigate all the different buildings throughout. But here's the deal, guys.
Unmute
That
unmute.
is going to be really nice when you think about hitting ring consoles and where you have
आवाज आता?
information is
Yes,
critical.
I can
And
hear.
to the north we go.
हाँ,
Team Nemesis
जा
just
रुक
there,
जा.
hovering at City Hall, popping an evac tower.
Talking
They
Hindi
don't
में
have a ring console, right? So
हाँ?
that's going to be
हिंदी
difficult for them
नॉलेज
because they
पड़ता है मेरा
may look to grab
यस
any
यस.
kind of information with
हिंदी में
that
बात करना
catalyst.
पड़ेगा
They want
भाईजान.
a ring console.
क्या भाई
That's really important to note too, with the way that a lot of these teams are already
शान
quick with
किधर है
this
रे
approach
शान
and
किधर
really
है
trying to get that insight with these
शान
certain
ने
vehicles
गद्दारी
too,
कर दी.
but
शान
now
भाग
trying to
गया
pull a little
अभी.
bit behind while AG Global do move out on the fort.
मुझे
After getting
बता
that survey beacon and just trying to wait
गेम
things out.
किधर
They
से
do have
देखूं
2 Evo Harvesters on the outskirts of where the storm is going to be
गेम
brewing.
यूट्यूब
But
पे
once
जाके
again, it's
देखो.
kind of been that City Hall zone whenever
जाके
we see
देखता
these zone
हूँ
pools.
कौन कौन है
The preference of Sparrow as well for the survey
और मैं
beacon, so
बस
being able to use the arrow to not actually have to
हमारे
get
चैनल
on the
को कोई नहीं
beacon is
देखता
quite
गाइस.
nice for Wolves. Over at Humbert
ओह
did have a ring
शिट
console, and with their catalyst have already moved just to the south of Energy Bank.
भाई
But
चलो
SAUL
तुमको
with
व्यूज
Titans
देते हैं
on the desk, and for now
हाँ.
trying to poke at Sentinels, our former
व्यूज देते हैं हमारे तेरे को
ALGS
व्यूज
champs
देते हैं
back just a
व्यूज
few months ago in Sapporo.
हाँ, उसी के तो
Blixer
कमी
व्यूज
है
आ
believes
यार.
सत्या
the Canadian American is an absolute savage when it comes to here.
वन वाचिंग
Seems now for a disengage.
One watching
And
is
being the
you
first
are
team to go out in
watching.
that last game too is tough, but this is a team with great vibes with the way
अरे
that they can
बॉय
just reset and have a good
हाँ.
time. Talk about having these slower starts
ये
while
पुल अप कोई था
GG
हमारे
right alongside them. We do hear him actually
थोड़ा तो तू
getting
हंस रहा.
control over onto this light arsenal, and thankfully with
अब
that
मैं ही
portal
हूँ
play that
बे
he
और
also
कौन
put
होगा
down just for some insurance, he
और
does
कौन
manage to
आया?
get away.
मैं तो
Blixer
कौन
is
बे
locked in right now too. Is able to also get the scan onto the crate dropping down from above.
हाँ
Get some more of this
मिर्ची
Evo
पाव
charge
खाएगा
too
मिर्ची
before
पाव
looking ahead of the teams who may have found themselves on
नहीं
by
भाई
surprise
मैं
by that
तो नहीं
building. But you
खाएंगे.
know, coming out of City Hall,
क्यों
there
क्यों
is that high ground that we see a lot of these end zones and the light
मैं
arsenal.
अच्छा
चूहा
मिर्ची
खाया
मरा
हमने.
Just imagine what would
बिल्कुल
happen if
समकर
they hit the
कसना नल्ला
back-to-back.
मिर्ची
That would just go to show how good of an IGL Blingster is and how
ये
fantastic
बड़ा बड़ा
Monsoon and
कुरकुरी
Fun are.
मिर्ची है रे
But back to Wolves, who
लवली
only
लव
need
ऐसा ही
12
चाहिए मेरे
points.
को
How many times have we witnessed over this past week not only No Name going crazy, but Crazy Kong and Wen alongside them? Some of the most fantastic end-game plays.
क्या बोलती बोलो हाँ
Here
बाकी
we
के
got
लोग
Crazy
किधर
Kong
गए रे
too,
मर गए
ramping up with the rest of
हाँ.
Wolves. After dominating Pro League in APAC South, now looking to
क्यों भाई
dominate the overall standings as
क्या
they
भाई
make a move up.
बताओ.
And a lot of these other
बाकी के
teams
लोग
have
मर
found
गए
themselves around these chokes. Falcons,
कौन
namely
बाकी के
Adam
लोग?
Liquid, by the way, where Liquid do want to get control
हाँ
over that circle
कौन
there.
बाकी के लोग?
Together with Wolves now wrapping up on the southern side, though, as they go
ये
through this
तुम्हारे
hallway.
साथ खेलने
Nobody in the
वाले
vicinity other than Alliance and
खेलने
Liquid
वाले
out
सब
of
तो
Wolves'
के बाद
control
वो
as they're able
पबजी
to
खेलने
recon
गया अभी.
themselves.
And they've had 3 wins, 3 second
अरे
places, and if that doesn't
तुम्हारे
define
लोग
consistency, I don't know
4
what
लोग दिख
does.
रहे भाई.
Our
4
blue
लोग.
team is right there with them, and that's why they're in the
the
top
match is
2.
going very well
However, just a
मरे
few points separating our top
हाँ.
3 as Zach with Team Vision, 35
the
points,
match
and Team
अच्छी चल
Nemesis
रही है मरे
looking to get some. But through
कमेंट्री
the
वमेंट्री
void
करो
passage,
मरे मैच
Ninjas
की
in Pajamas
अरे
go
तुम
with their
मैंने
first game.
प्लीज
You know,
कैसे
Wolves
करवाए.
do
मैं
seem
ये
to here
लोगों को जानता नहीं है. बाहर के
in
प्लेयर है
the
भाई.
center, banning
अपने
some of these
सोल वाले तो
players, allowing these teams to
अच्छा
get
नहीं गया
control
उनका
and
टीम.
get
अरे
aggressive with
उनका
these
गेम
open
प्ले
rounds. Even bigger when it
खराब
comes
हो
to
गया उनका.
utilizing that void
सोल
passage
वाले
and
0-0
allowing
पे मर गए भाई.
free as Sacred,
पॉइंट ही नहीं है उनके
a
पास.
young legend who we have highlighted so many
जीरो
times
पे गए
in the Split 1 playoffs, being on the Mad
यस.
Maggie, having to be
सब
careful
लोगों के
with
पॉइंट
that
0 थे. Gayet.
we were expecting when it comes to these teams trying to coexist inside these buildings.
And sacred you spent since 2019 wanting to be a pro, wanting to be here on a main stage alongside the people that he's looked up to for so long.
Strategic
But back
game.
to GK, honestly, Vicky, they've been floating under the radar this week, right? They kind of just get in there in a nice spot, knock
मुझे
down the
ये
party out, and be able to drop 9 into the back.
A little slow here too, and with drop feeling a little bit of the pressure. Triple take. Dagger to his back, trying to see if he could at least get knocked back. But now, when you talk about the catalyst, the lack of catalyst at top two, Ball's coming up, and most of the teams that we just interviewed have now yeeted out the Wrecking Ball.
Oh,
Looking
nice,
at the
nice.
side of the piercing
Drop
spikes,
अच्छा
Ewc
कर रहा
looking
है.
at a team who's been playing Sparrows, trying to
भाई
set
बहुत
the
फास्ट
tone when it
रिफ्लेक्स
comes
है
to this
सच में
Wrecking Ball, but playing it
हम
safe.
चलेंगे तो हमको 2 मिनट में खत्म कर
The reason
देंगे
this is important is a 12 point is an above
ये दिमाग
average
लगता
game,
है ना.
right? So being able to go on to
दिमाग
race
हमारे पास है
condition
रे
after this
मेरे
week,
पास ऐसा
you
सेटअप
give us
नहीं है
3
भाई
games in your pocket to convert before other people eclipse 50. So every fight, every shot is going to matter. You have to be perfect this game.
हाँ
And a lot of teams are noting that, right? Hearing those interviews, imagine how that fuels some of our teams and trying to cut off these rotations when you know the POI draft, what that rotation may look like. As we see a flyby with RRQ being another one of those teams, but they're going to be hanging out over the middle part of Energy Bank. There is no team around here. I mean, they're just going to get the information off the survey beacon and the ring console, so they're just going to be playing objective, but it's that big pile-up that's happening over on where the zone is pulling.
And it's a little more of an aggro comp for them, right? The Mad Maggie, Alter, Sparrow,
फिर चालू
they're
कर
focused on getting kills, throwing down
देख ले रहा
damage,
हूँ
and
ना
being
गेना
able to
दे
be assaulting whatever team lies in their path. Brief check-in with Nemesis, still in the building, still holding it down. You've got Falcons on your screen, your most recent map winners, who have now gotten further up the leaderboard. Not quite where they want to be
हाँ
just yet, but into the top 5 they are. For that circle, we pop just a bit north of where Team Nemesis are, so that's going to favor Team Falcons. But my thing is, where is Team Vision? Based off the interview with Zach, being able to outline what that game-winning fight is. Is it against Falcons? Do they see the same thing? Are they going to move against each other? Because here comes Team Liquid from the north as well. And those 3 powerhouses keep hitting against each other early.
And I just really love the insight from Zach Mazer, noting that if he would have controlled that building first, it was unfortunate with the Mythic been spawning there and encouraging Falcons to also situate themselves there. I mean, what would have been that end game, right? If they had found that spot first and not gotten third party. I like being able to see the what-ifs here as Vision now take a roundabout out of zone rotation to come out of resort to play with the back end of where Falcons is. They did clear that evac tower, by the way, so Falcons may now look behind them since there's 16 altars in this lobby that allows a reset with the Void Nexus.
And there's something you have to think about. Falcons are the only team out of Team Vision, Team Falcons, and the team we were talking about that have the caustic, right? So they can get ring consoles. Everyone else, you have to realize, hey, if there's a team by me that has access to a ring console, there's a good chance they have that information, and we play off them. But Interforce 36, meanwhile, have been going through it. Juzna, the Fortress, the gas
चलना
horses.
हुआ था
He is pretty safe, even if he is a solo. You can see just the caustic traps
नो
settled all over that bottom floor. Now, it really depends on how E36, though, as just is forced to move. How he can
अभी
try to
ट्राई
get away,
करूँगा
फाइट
trying
होने
to
वाली
dance
है
around them. No,
और
not
ये
even
गया.
around the corner, because the 30-30 has claimed his head and has claimed E36 as the first team to go out in this lobby.
Those 30-30s, the moment you hear it, it's like second worst to those Kraber shots. You just know.
You clench.
You're like, oh man, it's coming for my head at this point. But nice job there from Nemesis to use their high ground as we
जब
line of
रिफ्लेक्स देखो
sights
तुम
to
रिफ्लेक्स
grab kills because they haven't left where
देखना
they've
पे
been.
हमला
For
और
Team
देखना
Vision,
बा.
like we were talking about, right? Using Sparrow,
First squad,
Alter,
right?
and Mad Maggie similarly to RRQ to go aggro. Their objective right now is to eclipse 50, and that is all that matters.
कैसा है ना.
Oh,
रिफ्लेक्स
wait, hold
रहती
on. Crazy Kong going down, and now the arc star, the nade
ये मुझ
is
खबर ना
no
कुछ
need
चीज है
direction. He gets knocked.
ये मुझ
Nemesis
खबर ना
is
कुछ
so
चीज
hard. Wex
वो हिल
16
बैटल
kills
करता
his
किसी
first
करता
player round
कैसा
being on the other side, but he can't stay
हो
alive.
रे
Getting griefed. Elise
तू का मुंडा है कोई
on
ना
top, and they clean that up so quick.
हेलो
And that's what a fight looks like when you don't have
और
Watson.
पाएगा.
Let's just put
तू
it
का
this way.
कोई ना
You don't
काउंटर
have the pylon to intercept those
आवाज तो
nades.
नहीं
You
आता
don't
होगी.
have the perimeter
ओ
security
ओ ओ
to
ओ
break
ओ
through.
ओ.
And even with the catalyst,
आता है
the
तो मजा
piercing
आवाज
spikes, the reinforcement of the doors could not
Oh,
stop
हर
the
कोई तो मर लो
onslaught that Elite brought to
yes.
their door.
It was a very nice clean fight too, right? They did it very
खतरनाक
quickly
साइड
with
में
the
रखी
nades that they were able to
फास्ट
put right
रिफ्लेक्स
at
रहे
their feet. And going down now as our second team, though.
गेमच कळाना कितें
It
करता
opens
ते
the
न्हू
gate for a
गम
lot of other
मारता
squads to try to, oh, a little
ते
cheeky
कितें
portal there,
खंय
but Stress
धांवता
trying to move forward because there is a team trying to harass
movement
Elite
was
Vision, though. Remember, we talked about how they were
momentum
able to take
बरं
an evac tower to play on the
कोण
edge resort
खेळातच
side.
कळाना
All right, look at this
मॅच
right now.
खबर
Zeros out towards their
ते
left in a
बरं
2-1 split for Team
ती
Liquid. They
फ्लॅग
rip
मारलो
Carter down on the front
मोबाईल
lines,
काढलो
and this is where
पॉवर
you
रेंजर
have
झालो
to stabilize because Team Liquid, once they smell weakness, do descend upon it. And Zero on the altar with the movement capabilities to make it happen, but they're being smart about it. They're not going in with their blinders on. They pick the knocks. They know the resets coming with altar still in the lobby.
Literally,
कहाँ
like
से
just
कहाँ
having
तक?
that void nexus. Once again, it's like the insurance that allows these teams to get these free resets, but Liquid not overextending, hold the side of zone. While on the other side, though, for fun, looking like they're not having a lot of fun, because Team Nemesis are taking a picking out of them. Let's see as Tyler tries to jump down. Sees an
Zone
on
आते
the
हुए
back end side because there's a player on the other
EWC
end
भी ना रहे
of the stairs. And now moving up, I believe
EWC
they're
इंजन
into
ना
the possibility of a third party
No.
forcing Tyler to back away.
This is not
इंजन
good.
आने
Mythic
में
finish
खाजिया
just
था
south of this fight in Nemesis. Ninjas in
अच्छा
pajamas,
थर्ड खेल
all
भी ना
sent
मिले
for fun. That's what I'm talking about. The distance,
लेकिन
these
आने
angles that you
आमचे
can have in E-District
टोपी
once
भी
you
ना
get to
है
this area of the
काय
map
खबर
above
ना
buildings.
लेकिन
We're still not in the circle, right? So
या
get
तर
all
बाकी
the loot
सिस्टम
that you
रंग
need here
पळयता
for
कित्याक
ninjas in pajamas and focus
नॉर्मली
on.
खाती
And
तेंचे
the
डेली
third party was there, but it
इंटरेस्टेड
was a duo of GK where there is a replicator on top of Team Nemesis and as well as a Mythic bin. So now GK move up, try to harass that one solo of Team Nemesis
ग्राफिक्स
who
बेस्ट
is
है
on that Mythic bin. But Skittle Cakes has the high ground.
Solid.
Looking to see if he can give him some press fire.
It's definitely a Hunger
गन
Games cornucopia if you're going for that kind of vibe. Like you're like, oh wait, I get my teammate
काय
back
रे
and I get a mythic bin, but
किती जाय पडटलो
Nemesis,
ठीक
they're not gonna let you have it.
टॉप
Sacred, even
मध्ये
with the
टॉप फाइट
RE45, I'm gonna need you to get some energy ammo and feel a little better as we move to circle. But
अरे
just
निखिल
one more player
हाँ
left of GK.
तुझ्याकडे हा मध्ये आता घे
The fact that Monsoon too also
घेतला
look up.
हा प्लेयर
Action
नका
non-stop. Sacred. Every time I'm looking at this
घे रे
player, man,
बाहेर
he's
कर
always got
रे
the
कोणतरी
RE45 in his hand, and with
किरा
the
आम्ही
Mythic
तो
bin in their favor,
फाइट
having a
बयान
lot more walking away from this building because they will have to start inching to the north, where it will be pulling, not towards the high ground where we've expected time and time again, but on the bridge on the north side of City Hall, where Vision, Zach himself, called it out on this rotate, where Liquid was neighboring them.
They're going to have a big fight later with AG Global for that power position on the west. Elite Esports on your screen on the south side. For Falcons, who have just rotated in. Find a spot and Guild getting the caustic barrels down immediately, covering their path. And they start looking back, right? The riot drill, the nades coming. We saw Elite Esports do this once before, and Wolfsy throws out the Maggie Ball to try and prevent the slaughter and through the void passage we go.
Especially when it comes to that Stinger Bolt, the direct counter trying to deal with so many caustics in this lobby. All right, he sent out that Nox grenade from very far left field.
So 2 ults down.
And now Vision looking to see if they could get this res onto Loader before backing away. Zach is going to be able to pump this ult up just so that way he can get his own Stinger Bolt. But with the Deathbox res, they bring back Loader. Nemesis are still farming an IP, by the way. Now, as they're going to be able to get the trade-off too with Skittle, looking to see if they can get the res because it was a cost grenade. And IP do get eliminated, and so do GK. That is going to be legacy pick Europe.
And the battle of the south is not over by any means. S8UL actually trying to make their presence known as Reject move in on Team Nemesis. You're going to have a lot of angles down there as Team Vision still keep tabs on AG Global, bunkered up inside a building.
And this is what we're seeing up in the kill game because Nemesis are down to what looks to be a solo. It's just Sacred hiding behind these knockdowns. It's Elite moving up, but there's a 3PL Reject up on the high ground. Elite having to be careful as Reject actually may allow Team Nemesis to try to survive until that very moment. They pick that up. Do not allow Reject to take that KP away from them. Team Nemesis now get eliminated in AG. Team Vision who move up from the low ground into this building.
Jaguaris on the ground, and Yanya right there. Thanks to Sparrow giving us the information, tracking him where he's going. AG Global eliminated. Panic dealing the finishing blows.
And with Team Liquid looking at how that fight was going, they wanted to time a 3P, but Vision had timed that themselves really well with the way that they took over the building off from away from the AG, and Liquid took that KP.
A team that's in contention for 50 points, rather silent here is Team RRQ all the way in the north. 2 teams north of Team Liquid. For the Falcons, however, the south side is going to be kind of difficult with S8UL and Sentinels on the horizon, but through the Void Passage we go. What does that look like? But I wanted to see the north, and here we are.
And trying to control the bottom side of this bridge is RRQ, one of our teams who've been fragging out. Oh my goodness! Jelly sliding in. City as RRQ get eliminated. Our top-heavy teams in some trouble minus Vision. RQ won't be able to boost themselves up. This actually opens the gates for Team Vision as Team Liquid clawing their way up. Zach, by the way, picking up the KP onto Lucky's. 11 squads left. Zach is fragging out. He finishes off Lucky's. We heard the interview. You hear the confidence. And now they're going to be able to take this Void Nexus back.
Still a lot of heavy hitters in the north as we lose.
Teleport.
Please remember,
Yes,
SAUL and
तो
Sentinels are
करता
still
था
in
कैसे
circle,
बोलता
and everyone's vying to get there.
Vision are currently at 40 points total. They need 50 points to be at match point. As Reject Duke is eliminated, Sentinels have been farming as well. Monsoon being on the Mad Mag, he does find his aim and playing up the low ground here. As Elite looking to get this res, but Vision has been harassing these teams in their line of sight.
When you have Alliance also in the vicinity, they are some shooters, we know that. So Loader and Zach are going to have their jobs cut out for them. They are the furthest out. We do have a Maggie Ball, we do have Zach, but with your altar down, movement is going to be tough. Carter needs to be rezzed here. The reset, critical to their game.
Oh, that was so scary right there. Zach is also in the middle of healing, but it's fine. He manages to get away right behind Zach while he's tossed the shield battery. Elite do fully reset while Alliance are looking down onto Vision. Falcons lose out on their Mad Maggie, now forced to play things out as a duo, looking to see if they can at least reset, but it's the Wrecking Ball as Elite see Vision, the beaming, it's up to Zepto, playing off the knockdown, but there's too many people looking down as Vision are the next to go, and Elite get to see another day.
And they reset. They've reset. Alliance doesn't drop down and go for it. Instead, it's Team Liquid.
Reset, but not for very long, right? They attempted it here as Zero moves up, picks up Henchman. Now playing off the other side here of the middle console. They get eliminated. 8 squads left, though. Looking behind them because there's another team up on the high ground that were harassing Elite before.
Zeddy Esports in the mix here as well. So multiple teams. And Zeddy, with the timing, you have to think about this, right? They could just throw down and third party this with ease, but Team Liquid has to stay healthy in this engagement, and here comes Zeddy.
Zeddy now engaging against Team Liquid.
On fire, guys.
Here's a duel from the other side. They get taken out, and so do Zeddy. Last 5 squads now, as Falcons are still in this lobby.
Your winners of match 3.
Falcon Brigade,
Titans climbing the leaderboard. However, they're just a duo.
Yeah,
And Game Gladiators likely
yeah.
realize this, but with Blast being caught out by Blinkster from Sentinels and Fold, it's a 2v2, and Hal swings.
Side by side with Guild, having to look behind him though. The drill
Don't
peppering
got
into
the
them.
floor
Gotta give a nudge over to Dia for that. Hockey's still alive, and Falcons get eliminated in his legacy with the paper in hand. Finding Hal, finding Guild. Last 3 squads. Forming this side of zone now. Look at
अरे वो स्टीम में पड़ रहे गेमिंग तो एकलो था हूँ छकाना तो यार गेमिंग एकलो था हूँ छकाना तो कुछ टीम में पड़ गालते पड़ता
District, 8 kills for the team. And
आमी
so
कहता था
many
है
Kraber shots connecting, and here's the deal, it's infinite ammo. We can open up these fights. But do not forget about Hackett, the altar, who's laying low. Imagine what he can do. We've seen him play Wraith as a solo in end games. We get as many placement points as we can. But we could convert this if we time it right.
Or we could get the Terminator here.
Power
To
कहता
exterminate the rat, but the Lions who've seen this before,
Desire
staying
Esports.
alive, waiting for the 3v3 of Sentinels and S8UL with Sentinels.
इस पर असली में
Having the
लगे
advantage in terms of their positioning on that slight high ground, Legacy pinging on where to rotate.
YouTube वाला माइक
Feeling the drill
म्यूट
load
कर
and the pressure with Kraber now in his hand
YouTube वाला
still. Peppering in also the caustic
कमेंट
barrels to
है
at
बंद
least
कर
give him the space.
हम ठीक है चलिए बाहर होता हूँ मैं
It's a full reset. Welcome back, Aku and Unlucky.
जैसे
Now
बस
with
वो
the
उतारा
3v3, here comes the Maggie Ball. And despite getting them back in, this causes chaos. Could Sentinels win?
Sentinels now move up. This is all for Sentinels. They see Alliance, who still get the KP, but it is Sentinels who are king of the hill. and
Sorry,
King
sorry.
of E-District for game number 4.
Naw घेऊ नका
Sentinels with
काय
their
सांगता
first win of
आम्ही
the
पहिले
year 6
खेळटाले खबर हा
ALGS Split 1 playoffs. Better late than never, boys. This is
त्यांना
what
तो
matters.
एक तो जागा
You lock
असलेला
it in
तो
on match point finals.
ज्या जागेची आम्ही खूप तबाही केलेली.
That was nasty from Aggies. The fact that he pulled off that res, the fact that they
तो
still
मध्ये
won
आमका
that
ते
fight
फ्री एकदा
against
ती गुळ
SAUL
सोपलेली आणि
was
आम्ही दुसऱ्या
unmatched, but it
गोष्टी
was
घेतलेले
Sentinels
ते
with 9 KP to take
त्या
game number
जागेचेर बीन
4.
आमची जाताली थंय
They
खबर
held
हा
that
तुका
side of zone for so
कवर
long.
बिवर
We saw
सगळे
their
हाताले
names lighting up the kill feed too.
फक्त त्याच
And those
टायमार
of
ती
them
खोद
going out
मागीर
first in
आमी
our previous game, let's not forget what
इतके आम्ही
happened on
फ्री
Olympus
आसले
and now turn things
की
around to
आम्ही
get the win.
तसं बसून GIF
That was a
धाडटले
good game
का
from them,
स्टिकरां
right? When you start to
धाडटले
think about it, they started in Canal Plaza. We're going to
ते
the
बीन
north.
काय
It's such
ए
a quick
जिंकले
rotate for them. They're allowing themselves to set up in God's spot. But not only that, they defend all of the sieges
हा
towards
केवढा
their
जिंकले
building.
म्हटलं
They
कोण जिंकले
are our ALGS champs from Sapporo, guys. There's
Which team
a
won?
reason they are this. The duo of GG and that Hackis push as they're coming down because that's what he has to do. They see the res go up, they're going to jump on it, so Hackis goes up to put the pressure on them first.
The bait is insane. I mean, the fact that they even lost that fight, allowing Monsoon to wrap right behind them, man, to take the win. I mean, we'll take that any day. SAUL, they were hungry. They wanted to dive onto the res. Hockey says, come to me real quick to get second place. And Sentinels just clean up on aisle 3. And we even saw Link a few times get a kidnap, as he's usually known for, to kind of kickstart this momentum for them on E-District. You love the energy in the crowd. You love that Alliance, by the way, slide through its second place spot for game number 4. And again, we also have to mention that it is the back-to-back E-District.
That's right. We're going back. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. The Sentinels literally throw one Mad Maggie ball and 7 bullets and clean up that fight. They're like, we'll take these 12 placement points. Let's see how many kills we got. 9 kills. A 21-point game. Do you know how good that is to get back into it, right? And for Zach, who was saying, like, if we're still going to game 9, I made a mistake. They just needed 12 points. We got half of that. We got 6. They are. They're incredibly close. Alliance there with an 11-point game. If that is kind of our floor, our dud for a game, going into the top 3 as a solo and bringing everyone back. It's a little unfortunate that I only got 2 kills from that. But it's Team Nemesis who started in City Hall. Yes, they went out in 14th, but if you're going out in 14th with 7 kills from your building, that just goes to show you how good you were defending everyone that was full sending you. It's just not quite enough. We need a 20-pointer.
Sentinels is there.
And even trying to take a safer rotation, right? Until we saw this collapse of a fight. Taking a look at some of these highlights of the end game here with Team Liquid now having to go from the under part of the bridge. I really do love the zone pool too, because then you have to mention the Sentinels who were clearing their back end of the POY that they have been, and then ZD2 making a mention as in these last 5 squads. Walty had gotten down earlier, but with the Mad Maggies in this lobby, Tiff, it was a bloodbath with that drill. We won't be seeing her anymore. No more with the Warden, as I like to call her. And SAUL, they wanted the shiny object of the res before their eyes, before Sentinels. It was with the Wrecking Ball and a nice strike to take that game.
Ooh, and with Mad Maggie gone, does that mean Gibby coming out? Does that mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
We go and see our Gibby boy, but there it is yet again. That end win for Sentinels, dominating the faction, timing it to perfection. Guys, we're literally just getting started here at the Year 6 ALGS Split 1 playoffs at EWC, and I could not be more excited.
I know, right? I mean, the fact that we are going on to game number 5 after hearing our interviews, after hearing how confident our IGLs are feeling, but now you take a look at Sentinels turning things around, and after getting that win alone brought them up to those 21 total points, with Alliance coming in 2nd place. That could make a difference. We heard it from Lace too, as SAUL kind of starting off slow, ramping up here. They didn't get that 2nd place spot or that 1st place finish, but it was the 9 KP that they at least got in their pocket.
And that is a big deal for them, right? Because sometimes with SAUL, yes, they can net themselves the win, but maybe it doesn't have enough kills to go alongside it. So if you're getting the 7 points and 9 kills, a 15 point. Wait, hold on, time out. We pause for this.
That was so crazy.
Yeah, you're nasty, Legacy. You're nasty. We love that. For overall rankings, guys, remember the key number is 50. That is what we want. Teams that are 12 points away. I'm looking at the APAC South squads of Wolves Esports and Team RRQ. Team Vision, you guys heard it. If Zach did something wrong, if we go to 9 games, well, blame him, I guess.
Well, you know what's also scary too is with Wolves and RRQ going out a little early in that previous game, the fact that they're at 38 points nonetheless is a few points away from overtaking the Vision in this first place spot. We could easily welcome, what, 3 teams here at match point, depending on how this rolls out for game number 5.
And we went how many games last year, Vicky? You were there. 13?
It went the distance. It was crazy.
Worse than a survival stage. But you know what, with match point finals, my favorite thing is one more game.
It is. We got some more Apex on the horizon. I mean, just the fact that you even see the Kraber shots, that 2-in-1 deal, will absolutely take that. As we see a nice little flyby of our pros and what this means and how these teams were now able to turn things around. Maybe a slow start for some of these teams, but with the back-to-back on E District, it sets the likes of even Sentinels to take this momentum and roll into Game 5 with it.
Ooh, I'm ready to see it. And we got the Wolves fans. That's actually such a gnarly fan right there. Like, how cute is that? It looks so fluffy.
I don't know
the
how.
Wolves fans, they have those intricate things. If you look behind, like where our studio desk is over there, did you see like the anime-inspired Wolves fans? Did they ever go? Monsoon Riley?
Why?
Yeah. That's actually sick.
I love the fans and I love the signs in the crowd, guys. Get ready because we got E District on the other side here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yes, I got it. समझा मैं हाँ क्या ये म्हटलं मेसेज केलाय म्हाका कितें म्हणटा लायव्हर होता
Welcome back to the ALGS Split 1 playoffs here at Esports World Cup 2026, and we are closing in on our first team hitting match point. The match point finals has been fantastic so far, and with those 3 gentlemen on your screen, Sentinels getting their first win, things are starting to hot.
You know, Sentinels, one of the best performing E-District teams we have in this tournament. They now raise their average to 10 points per game. 50% of Sen's points have come from this map as well, so I'm not surprised that they finally put that win on the board and put themselves up there.
Interesting though, this is the team that I want to focus on. This team right here from APAC South, criminally, and I am taking the blame for this as much as anyone.
Next round is about to start.
One of the most consistent teams in the Apex Legends Global Series, and when we talk about E-District, Dan, which is where we're going back to now, some of the most stand-out statistics you could possibly ask for.
And you saw what they were able to do, getting into that final circle, putting points on the board. They are the best E-District team that we have in this tournament, averaging 12 points per game. Again, 50% of their points have come from E-District as well. So SAUL will definitely be a focus going into this next one, as well. Elite Esports and Reject, 2 more teams that have been able to put on a lot of points on this map.
Well, let's see who continues their form, or if someone is going to jump up and make themselves known as we head back to E-District now for match number 5. The match point finals continues. We
are so close now for one of these teams crossing that match point threshold, but it is still not guaranteed. Vision, 9 points away from getting there. Wolves, 12. RRQ, 12 as well. If those 3 teams exit early, and similarly to what we've seen so far, some of these lower scoring teams finding points, finding wins, maybe we go all the way into further without teams getting to match point threshold.
It always feels like when we're close, you're like, oh, wants to be this game, and then another game, and then another game. Even teams on 49 points, Sentinels being one of them. Back in Sapporo in January, could not get that single solitary point they needed to get over that match point threshold. However, it didn't end up too bad. They went on to win the whole thing.
And what a booster this is for Sentinel's chances now as they
Padahal
close in
lama je
halfway to match point threshold. Well, they wanted to see different zones. We're going to be heading to the southwest now of the map. Enter Force 36 in prime position for this one. For Funner moving very quickly from draft point. Alliance priority 2. Remember, Alliance did get to the end game. And currently they sit in 8th position, so they're also putting a consistent amount of points on the board.
Second place, if I'm not mistaken, for Alliance in that game as well. Somehow out of the dropship, no mags, no problem. He was hitting every bullet and then unlucky playing on the pieces, denying S8UL their chance to win that game and opening the door for Sentinels to close out. But Viaduct is looking pretty, I would say, spicy when it comes to where you want to be positioning yourself. But a lot of teams actually head into the street market side here. We do see those deep Viaduct pools, but I wonder if some teams are thinking that maybe they want to hit a little bit more info, see where everyone else is, and the amount of teams that kind of look a little bit lost on where they want to play here.
Well, Enter 36 are playing the baby comp, and they have opted to go away from their POI. And as you mentioned, maybe to build up that Evo, just get a little bit of extra something. They dropped at Viaduct. They are currently hounding Alliance, by the way, and kind of shooing Alliance away, saying, we don't want you to take this western side away from us. So Alliance have respected them, backed off a little bit, but Enter Force 36, they are currently relentless with their push.
Yeah, just looking at compositions is actually an interesting conversation to have, because now with Maggie being banned, we did have that joint 20 pick aside, by the way. We'll go back to that in a second, because Jelly from Zeddy is finding some Wolves players in front of him. This is down on the southern side of the zone, and this is very close to where the end game will be taking place. And it looks like a little bit of an engagement ends with no harm, no foul from either side. Everyone's still healthy for now. Going back to the position, the fact that Maggie has been banned, now we are starting to see Gibraltar, Newcastle, and the baby start to come through. The counters aren't there that were previously up. So teams might be looking to play this one a little bit slower, build up to purple, get those purple perks, and then make the most of the composition.
For newer viewers, baby comp has been defined as Gibraltar, Newcastle, and Valkyrie, because Valkyrie kind of carries the two through the air and slams to the ground, or because babies could play it. You judge, it's up to you.
It's the second one.
We are going to see Gibraltar banned in this game, because we do have 15, so going into match 6, there will not be a Gibraltar, and the full baby comp will not be available. Up into the sky, there's a charge rifle available for Deeds.
Deeds, one of the best Newcastles in the game, and I feel very lucky in that statement. Very well adept at anchoring the team, making sure that he's in position to drag those teammates up when they need to. Now, speaking of dragging teammates up, Falcons might need to do that right now, because the breach charge from Jelly is going to take down Waltzy, who's going to be playing Fuse. Interesting composition actually from Falcons in this game. Alter, Catalyst, and Fuse. Now Jelly has just found himself down. Deeds does his job, that was a beautiful Skynade coming in from Guild.
Bubble goes down as well, just to protect themselves. Breach charge goes out. And Zeddy are going to opt to a back away from this one. Probably an intelligent one, considering the position that Falcons find themselves in. And Falcons just have that advantage on the damage they've been able to output at the moment. But you mentioned it. I love this composition. I think Catalyst is going to be integral the further we get into this tournament as well.
Fuse as the counter comp, you could say, or the counter pick to a lot of the Gibraltars that we're seeing.
Firing
a couple of those knuckle clusters behind those mobile shields certainly does make you uncomfortable if you are running that legend. So Falcons choosing to try and play against what they expect to see in this lobby with some counters. Unlimited, very aggressive. Look at this competition. Strafing Flame.
Boss guy
He's going to be trapped inside of that room with nowhere to go. Easy Flash has just been taken down as well by Stubby. Well, when you're choosing Sparrow, Alter was it, and Axel, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that says we're going to play one way.
It's never too much fun if the Gibraltar's the last one alive, usually, but ever since the changes where he can run a little bit quicker now, he's not as bad, even though the hitbox is still pretty annoying.
They added some fast twitch fibers to this, man. I'm convinced of it.
But Pricey has been playing excellent, and RRQ very much deserve their position in third place. But an early elimination suddenly allows everyone else in the lobby to start to play catch-up. Now, I mentioned
competitive how incredible they were through the
group stages. This was the map where they found so many points, they dominated so many games, and they need to find more here to put themselves in contention of getting to match point threshold.
Yeah, 20 points on the board so far. It's okay. It's decent enough.
So you have to play strategically.
This is the last time we'll see E District for quite some time as we snake back through our map selection. Got to make the most of the opportunity where you've had those successes. Ninjas in Pajamas, not the greatest of starts for them. 18th position overall at the moment. Just the 11 points on the board, and most of those came from game one.
They did, but they are another one of those teams that could potentially take a win here, by the way, as Pricey's still being hunted down. And poor Pricey. You never know.
Thinking a match point finals lobby with the talent on display, a 1v3 in that situation. Unlikely.
Yeah.
No dupe. He's going to be dragged back up. No problem whatsoever. Gets chased down by Zeddy Esports. As they will find those kills. They're completely isolated deep in zone at the moment, Zeddy. As you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, they're just outside of stadium. Where the zone is going, though, we are pulling down towards the south, down towards the back of Viaduct, where I was expecting to see teams start to converge upon. One team who's taken their time, though, is the team who came second place in the previous game, and that's going to be Alliance on that northern side, collecting some info.
Yeah, they were at Street Market, and they've moved all the way around the west, hit the north, and they were bullied away initially by Interforce 36, and now they've got to scarper themselves to the north. They've also been playing the baby comp that we were mentioning earlier. They have the Valkyrie available. I think that we've learned a lesson through group stages. Some of the baby comp teams who did have zone pull towards them really struggled because they weren't able to capitalize on the position they are running. So instead, you go, get your evos up, you get as much weapons and utility, and then you slam down into zone later and destroy one of these teams who is not quite as good as you.
Yeah, I mean, if you get that skyward dive up to purple, get that perk where you supersonic into the skies, and also get the triple defensive bombardment, which I think really is the key to damage output for a lot of these teams in the end game. It's worth just taking that counter rotate away from zone to collect that evo to make sure that that composition is as powerful as it can be.
So we briefly checked in with Team Vision, our lobby leaders at the moment. 9 points required. Could they be the first squad to reach the match point threshold?
66% off. 66% off.
So they'd have to do it right here, right now. In the kill feed, Yanya's just gone down to the ring, so AG are also taking their sweet time. It looks like he's been picked back up as Team Liquid going for a very interesting rotation on the south here. They're actually so far off the map, they weren't even on my feed, but they've been able to sneak in behind enemy lines.
Yeah, full wrap towards the southern side here, and this backside of Viaduct is going to be very precious to a lot of teams. This is where the zone usually pulls away from the main kind of crane structure that makes up the POI. So sneaking your way to that southern side is going to be very, very effective if they can survive towards that end game. A team who's very close to match point, Vision. Very precious to a lot of teams. We've got Enforce 36 inside on Street Market right next to them, as you can see from their POV. Only 9 points away, Team Vision. Oh no, Lota goes down.
Coupon down. 850 में
it also, the Void Nexus is going to be the play. You can already see that he's been dragged back. Carter was just sitting on that as Zach and Lota things went badly that they could get back into the game. Now Worms Esports taking some damage, and it's going to be the round for Team Liquid they weren't expecting that's cost them crazy comp.
Yeah, Team Liquid have just really created a lot of uncertainty here on the south. A few of the teams starting to get involved in this fight, thinking maybe we could pick up some KP, maybe we could take advantage of a couple of teams being weak. And Wolves are going to really have to try and battle back to get up to a full 3 here, with 1 being down. 2 will at least be okay. There's NIP also in the area and also noticing Team Liquid. Now GK arriving, and this is what happens in this game. When we have this many Valkyries, everyone's going to start to arriving.
One team who are very proficient when it comes to the baby comp is going to be GK. They ran it for so much of the split of Pro League. Team Liquid decide that they don't feel comfortable. Wow. They're going to go up into the skies here. Now, they have managed to get up to full purple, so they're going to have all perks available. They're going back. Don't mind this too much. I think it was just a little bit too busy for them, and I think the actions of the teams around them, who were just being kind of a little bit too aggressive for their liking, they want to re-enter when the space is a little bit clearer, or maybe those two teams do start to engage with each other.
I mean, during the toilet break, I heard Zero shout at one of the other teams, "Why are you inting me for?"
Doesn't sound like Zero.
And he probably feels like they would be a little bit vulnerable to some aggression. So Liquid reset. Falcons also on the southwest. Wolves still struggling at the moment. Ooh. It's going to be down to just Crazy Kong. And it was GK who have wedged themselves between these teams, who are causing a real problem for Wolves right now.
So look at the kill feed. Alliance and Nemesis having a little bit of a scrap. Ninjas in Pajamas inside the zone will be safe for quite some time. Also, you can see SAUL picking up a knock onto Mike from Zeta Division. Crazy Kong, by the way. He's got a Moby.
Just need to find the gap. Thread the needle.
He's got both of the banners. He's got himself a catwalk.
Oh no!
But he might have forgot that there's 19 other squads available. It would have been very, very
Impressive to get that done. Maybe not right now.
Yeah, For Fun aren't going to allow that one.
Perhaps.
And he's spent the Dark Veil, that's the problem.
EWC are fighting. They've just been taken down by GK.
Kiranta.
Crazy Bomb's dead. Wolves do not get the res off. A valiant effort though.
So close. Mere moments away from getting the team back in. He was happy to sacrifice himself. Well, now we have lost 3 teams, and 2 of those teams were in 2nd and 3rd. It opens the door for Vision to take a little bit of a lead here as we check back in with Sentinels.
That's a kidnap.
They were able to kidnap them.
That's a kidnap. Wow, yeah, not much chance of getting back through the portal that time, especially with Sheila staring at you now. Alliance on your screen, 2 EMEA powerhouses. Close enough that they can smell each other, and somehow Hackers has found himself a Kraber already in this game. Mastiff in his hands as well. The fuse on though, the Motherload is burning. They have to play behind the Newcastle wall here. Look for this res. Bubble's going to go down. Unlucky will be able to drag Aku back to his feet, so should be okay. But Elite are just waiting here. And as soon as that bubble goes down, these frag grenades are going to hurt.
He's got frags, he's got arc stars, he's got everything you could want here, but there is still other teams in the area. So Elite,
again.
They cannot capitalize. Yes, you get the damage.
Kind of actually finds one onto Hackett, so that nade does its job. But with Aku still alive, there's still a chance for Alliance to survive here. You can see that Elite are desperate to clear this, to finish it off. Everybody is firing down, and now they bubble forward. Aku has to hold the line, but all of Alliance just got up.
They actually knocked Unlucky with the Thunderdome, by the way. Hackers gets taken down by Sentinels. Alliance are just being too focused, and they'll fall in 17th place. That's another team in the top 10 that's gone down. And this is how match point finals go sometimes. Just when you think teams are starting to take a lead, those that have been struggling start to pick up the pace.
Well, it's a Motherload coming in from Vision here. They want to try and push this. Remember, they only need 9!
Albaya.
And Lota, through the fire and the flames of the Motherload, jumps forward and deletes Waltzy.
Just like that, they only need 8 and a placement point on the horizon if they get into the top 15 as well.
Now, this is a really big fight as well. Guild actually does a good job of the rest of Falcons to retreat through a Void Nexus, because this endgame position will be huge. You can see where the zone is going to be pulling in 30 seconds time. And if Vision can clear this side and find a place to play, the 8 points they now need becomes a very, very viable option.
Yeah, Falcons had to be a focus for them, because Falcons are going to hold them out. On the other side of Falcons is Team Liquid, by the way. Suddenly we're starting to see Hal and Zero get into these end games, which might be concerning for some of these other squads. NIP still very much a feature in this one as well, as you've just seen Guild get finished by Yanya. So it's just down to the CEO himself here, and sadly, Falcons will fall in 16th. So now we will have 15 teams. One more placement point for Vision. They need 7.
You can see the exhale from Hal, though. I think he knew what his fate was about to be. But for Vision, they're going to be safe on this bridge. Next to them is going to be AG Global. That's where the focus of attention is going to be for Vision for now. You can see that Zach is just kind of trying to wrap behind Vision.
Oh, it's AG Global.
Excuse me, AG. And see if he can force them away. If they can deny them stepping towards this side of zone, then their focus can just be straight ahead to the north. Big moment. We've got to be careful here. Knuckle Cluster goes in. Car takes a little bit of damage, as does Zach on the cross here, but it does force the bubble. Motherload will follow up. Vision playing tight, making sure nobody oversteps and gives that first knock away.
This is a huge call from Vision to try and force Liquid away, and they've done exactly that. They've claimed it. Liquid say, actually, we'd rather stay alive. We need points as well. Live reaction of Hal complaining to his teammates. Not really surprised with that one, but Vision have now been able to take one of the better positions on the map. Reject are arriving as well with the Skyward Dive, and actually, Reject arrived to the west. They become a threat here.
They just landed on their height. So Reject on the height now. Vision have to play bunkered down. They cannot pick. They cannot take the fight with Liquid. All of a sudden, Vision under pressure, but still safe in this zone. 15 squads still alive, by the way. If you see the mini-map, every single team seems to be stacked inside of the main structure of the POI and has to leave. This is going to be an absolute battle on the northern side.
Vision under a lot of pressure. RC have taken prime position.
One more potential point for Vision, by the way. Logan just got the knock onto Flinzer.
If it gets finished, that's going to be the real question, though. It's now Team Liquid. Maybe they sense Vision are weak here. It's a great answer back though. 2 are down on the side of Vision. And Carter has to stay alive.
Oh, the charge rifle is going to get him finished off though. Excuse me, it was actually, I think, a shot from distance. Maybe even a breach charge that took him down. Vision, Carter, left on his own. Legacy, wants to break through. Zero says peekaboo. Vision down. No match point for them as we turn now to Liquid being forced by SAUL.
It's a brave fight from Liquid, but this could be a huge revive for them as well. Bubble was down. They get back into a 3. Now you need Sykes to get that bat off as Team Liquid will hold.
Oh, the double bubble. Arufa tries to poke from RC up on that high ground using the Valk to drop down, deal that damage and pop back up. But the main story here for Liquid is they have reset. They have got healthy. And they will be able to participate in this endgame. Now, Sentinels looking for a back-to-back. 2 shots left in the Kraber, make it 3. My maths still not on point. Hopefully Blinks' Kraber will be.
Still somehow 13 squads alive in this final circle, by the way. The most we've had so far, it seems, is for fun under a lot of pressure. And one of the key factors here, first, second, and third are out of this lobby. We still may not see a team reach match point, depending on who takes this victory here. Nemesis go down.
And it might be GG next. Caustic Ult very, very close to them. Void passages coming through from For Fun to try and see if they can peek on the damage. GG have to force that bubble. They have to expend the bubble. And they're going to be vulnerable when that goes down.
Gibraltars are very much the main players in this final circle as Vayne has fallen. Power ramps are plenty, I'm sure. GG's still alive. They've still been able to use this little nook and cranny to stay in a successful position.
Well, NIP and GK is now a 2v2. In fact, it's going to be GK who win that one. Ninjas in Pajamas are dead. GG's still alive, by the way, and a combination of GG and Elite will delete For Fun. It's a Mia on a Mia on a Mia. As we now jump back to the Americas. Zeddy on your screen right now. Half the lobby has been eliminated. 10 squads remain.
An opportunity for Zeddy, maybe. They're at 37 points. A win here may just send them over that match point threshold. And the position they hold could be a perfect one. It is another KP that goes in their favor. As you can see how close these teams are now for reaching match point. Liquid, Sen, and Zeddy is all eyes on. Can you do it here on E-District?
Zeta Division bang center of zone behind a Newcastle wall. Sentinels getting pressured by Elite Esports as well inside of their little hut they call home.
Bro.
GG now
You hear me?
GK. Oh, look who gets the clip. Zane sends in the motherload.
Only for UPI, that is like 150 off.
You can also see Zeddy doing some damage onto AG on the low ground. GG will reset.
Mana 1000 minus 150.
This is going to be one of the most difficult end zones you've ever seen to stay alive.
It's all down to bubbles, castle walls.
And maybe, just maybe, there's something you can throw in. There's ramparts there in the lobby. Don't forget a catalyst there with the Dark Veil as well.
Get a hot order in there.
Elite Esports will be out next. Zeddy looking to
Get out
punish
his
RC
Fury
behind this
game.
wall. GK Esports, they'll be out of the lobby next. The solo will go. RC now versus Zeddy. Zeddy are trying to send this on the high ground. Reject out. Gaming Gladiators also out. We're into our top 5.
Zeddy find themselves 7 points away now from the threshold. But Jelly's just gone down. They're being bombarded, but another bubble comes out. They should be able to get up, but the zone's creeping in. You've got to move.
Well, there's Deeds doing his job again on Newcastle. Members down in front of them all of a sudden. The game is Zeddy's. Liquid will fall. Everybody is in front of them. Oh, but that's Zeta Division.
It's okay, it's all
Zeta Division. Zeddy will fall. And send them for back-to-back. But it's Zeta Division who come through with a win for APAC North.
Yuka on land. Could we see
champion winners?
the man who has been chasing that victory for what feels like forever? As no team crosses the match point threshold here in match 5. It has been the tightest ALGS tournament we've had in quite some time.
Oh, Zeta.
Touching distance, Sen
Zeta
touching
won.
distance, but neither were able to cross.
And it is Zeta Division again. Time and time again this tournament, they just creep out of nowhere and slam a win on the board and put themselves in contention.
They just managed to avoid the attention of the majority of the lobby. They were playing down in a little corner on the low ground. Everybody else was just a step above them in each other's eyesight. It allowed them to go unnoticed for long enough that when the final moment came, they just had to pull the trigger.
Division put 22 points on the board from that game, 10 kills.
Siguri kenne ai kare UPI kehdo hamira young na dala problem
5 away now from that match point threshold. Our reigning world champions trying to go back to back with LAN victories, which is not something many teams have been able to achieve.
The Flipkart, the official side.
The dynasties that we've had in this competition, the likes of Dark Zero, the likes of TSM. Could Sentinels be another name added to that list?
Medicine.
Questions that will all be answered at the end of today. When one team lifts that trophy. But the fact that we still do not have a single solitary team on 50 points means we get some more Apex, and that's what we love here in the Apex Legends Global Series. Knowing those games are gonna keep rolling. Here's your match results. Dan, take us through.
Zeddy also giving themselves a fantastic chance with the 12 points they put on the board. They are actually the closest to match point threshold, as we'll see later with the series results. Liquid with a big 12 points through kills alone. The way they were able to hold the southwest side of that zone was perfect.
My God.
But then some teams still struggling a little bit down towards the lower half of the leaderboard.
Sentinel in the top 3.
Ninjas in Pajamas, for example, our #1 team coming out of the Americas region during Split 1 Pro League are in 19th place. Enter Force 36 are in 20th place at the moment. They just haven't been able to get going.
Well, here is that endgame from the POV, momentarily, of Zeta Division. You can see the carnage, the defensive bombardments raining down from the sky, nades, bubbles. It is absolute chaos inside of that final moment. You can see Fun at the end there. Comes down, I think he might actually die to zone.
I think the last player actually Valkyried up into the air at that point and avoided all the gunfire. You were quite right when you pointed it out that they just were able to get away from everyone else, which sometimes as a Valkyrie, that is your job. You talk about those final circles, you talk about